Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.
Flight Sports TV, that's where it's at.
Flight Sports TV.
What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports TV. You already know what it is. We back with another one of them things. We got to discuss something today, man. We got a lot of breaking news in the NBA. We got a lot of coaches getting fired on their first year. It's almost like getting fired on your day off. There's a lot of crazy things that's going on right now in the city of Detroit. I wish all of these guys nothing but the best. But in my humble opinion, Monty Williams, just me analyzing the situation, I think he was done a raw deal. In my humble opinion, I think Monty didn't deserve to go out like that. I think that he needed a little bit more time. They put a big time investment on this guy, man. That's crazy. I definitely want to talk about this. I think that this is obviously is breaking news in the NBA. Everybody has got an opinion on what the Detroit Pistons should have did, what they could have did. But at the end of the day, this guy was supposed to come in and, change the culture. I don't even think he had an opportunity, but the problem was, in my opinion, is when whenever you get a new president, a new front office, you kind of already know the writing on the wall, no matter how long it's going to be, no matter if it's another year, at some point in time, these guys are going to want to bring in their own guys that they invested in. And that's what's taking place right now in Detroit. Trajan Langdon, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this guy. Trajan, he was out there messing around for a minute up there in New Orleans, if you aren't familiar with what was going on in the NO. Now, Trajan was there. I was monitoring his whole entire situation, his whole run, because of the whole Lonzo Ball situation. Lonzo was out there in New Orleans, so when David Griffin had partnered up with all his shares, his stuff, he ended up bringing in this guy, Trajan. Now, Trajan moved on. He was just kind of backing up David Griffin. Now they send him out to Detroit. And they already had this coach in place in Monty. They put 78 mil on the table for this dude. Monty Williams immediately skyrocketed into another pay stratosphere, and that's what's taking place with Monty Williams. Now, he's saying that he was blindsided by this. A lot of people felt like they may have seen this coming. The Detroit Pistons, we got to understand, these guys went on a massive, massive losing streak, and to be honest with you, you don't need 3, 4, 5 years to know that this is not the guy, but I don't think it applied necessarily to Monty Williams, but I just think he was the victim in this situation. Pardon me. Detroit is just not a pretty good locale. It just is what it is. Shout out to all my people in the Motor City. Salute to Detroit, but we just got to call it how we see it, man. That's not a desirable place. The Detroit Pistons was horrible this season. 14-68, and this was a guy who was supposed to come in and shake it up. They could have went that. They could have did that with no coach. That losing streak was just tremendous, and I know that Monty knew the writing was on the wall. Pardon me. The writing was on the board already, man. But the Detroit Pistons, I repeat, they fired this guy today. The team announced this. The decision to part ways with Williams reportedly came at the ownership level. This is what is being reported. So ownership came in, and swooped this whole situation. So Monty Williams, like I said, he was hired last off season to an unprecedented 6 year, $78.5 million contract, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, it only lasted 1 year. I repeat, they went 14-68, but what really did it to them, y'all, was that 28-game losing streak where they just got completely it was just a backbreaker. And when you are Monty Williams, you're supposed to have Cade Cunningham. You had some pieces there. Obviously they had injuries, but you're not supposed to go that bad. We know Detroit was not a good team, but 28 games, going down, that's going to get everybody fired. Salute to my man Hoop Jargon in the building, man. I'm letting everybody know that Monty Williams just got fired. And we're going to get into what this means for the Los Angeles Lakers, because the Lakers have been just, like I said, they're dominating the news. They're dominating everything. You can't get away. You can't get to the draft. You can't get to free agency. The Lakers seem like all their problems is coming to the forefront. The Lakers still don't have a coach, despite teams, getting that guy. And now, to be honest with you, I personally feel like Monty Williams fits better in Los Angeles. I'm hearing that the Lakers are not expected to go after Monty Williams. And as I'm looking deeper and deeper into the Monty situation, I didn't even know he has things going on with his family. He was supposed to take a year off. Now, the Detroit Pistons job, to Monty Williams' credit, he didn't ever want the job. And I think that was relayed down. Like they saying it came from the ownership level. This came from the Trajan Langdon level, ladies and gentlemen. You get a new president, they getting people up out of there. It just is what it is. And that ownership, they can eat this money. These guys are multi-billionaires, so this is really not, it sounds crazy, but they'll just bring another guy in. I think James Borrego is a guy I want to see get a job after I'm seeing all these names. I don't know, either he's getting the short end of the stick on some of these interviews, or he's just picking and choosing where he want to go. Now, Borrego was out in New Orleans with Trajan Langdon and Zion and all that stuff. So could all of this tie in? That's what I can't wait till the dust settles, where we get the Laker coach, we get the coach for this, we get all of that. Because right now we got a lot of hoopla right now. Salute to all y'all in the chat. Like I said, shout out Rap God. Salute to my man Thunder, Hoop Jargon, all y'all in the chat. So, like I said, what you got right now is just something crazy. But I repeat, the Pistons, like I said, the new president of basketball operations is in there. The previous general manager, Troy Weaver, these guys they shaking it up. And Monty Williams, he was going to be collateral damage in this. It was no way he was going to survive an ownership change. Not part of me, a front office change. Why would they keep him around? Now, I'm telling you, we shouldn't be feeling sorry for Monty Williams too much, because, he is sitting on a bag of money, so it's not like he's just, he going off to the sunsets with that paper, and he might fool around and get another job. So Monty Williams is very paid, and he finessed the Detroit Pistons out the bag. What I was saying before I got into all this other stuff was that Monty Williams never wanted this job. They just gave him an offer that he just couldn't refuse. Pardon me. If they just keep giving it, just up in the money, at some point, goddamn, you just gonna take it, So it just is what it is. We're gonna find out what they're gonna do, because no matter who you put in that seat, if they put James Borrego in there, they put whoever in that seat, you still got to get some talent on the board. Now, Detroit, they got to make some decisions with some of the pieces they got. Obviously, Cade Cunningham, they got decisions to make. It's time to pay Cade. So all of this is starting to come up and get percolating. So this is a very tricky situation going on with Detroit, and I want to know, in your humble opinion and mine, do you think they could turn this around? Back to LeBron and JJ. What does this leave JJ Redick? I'm hearing JJ Redick got, now he's interested in Detroit. Now Detroit is becoming this lovely job. I really think that's one big trick to get the Lakers to put that thing on the table, on pause, because the Lakers, they really could just get any coach right. They haven't got it. They haven't picked anybody yet. Now you're going into the draft. I want to think that the Lakers should have a coach by, if not the end of this week, by next week. You got the draft coming up. This is not a good time not to have a coach in place. That would be kind of LeBron James like, though, to roll up into the draft and free agency with no coach. That would just be who's running this thing. Now we can get a clear indication of what's happening. But it's not a good look. Send a good message to free agents, potential trade partners who might want to say, I want to come to LA. They might start to see what's happening, all of the drama, the hoopla, back to what I was saying about the free agency situation. You got a situation going on with the guard, D'Lo. What are they going to do with him? So that's why I go back to I'm not going to say coaches mean nothing, because you see what's going on in other cities where coaches have came in and revitalized it all. But these teams need to get personnel upgrades. I think that's really the problem. I think if the Lakers get JJ Redick, that's still not going to overcome the beast out west, all of these teams. I mean, you got a lot of top-notch teams that's ready to knock some people off. Thunder says Detroit has potential, but the current talent is lackluster. I think they got to, like I said, they got to make some decisions. I like Stewie. I like Cade Cunningham. I even like Ivy. I think they need to see what they're going to do with him, because time is ticking. And like I said, Cade Cunningham going to get to a point where everybody takes the money off rip, but you're going to have to get to a point where, you have to do something. Otherwise, teams going to come calling, and all it's going to take for Cade to sign that deal and just request a trade. So I think they seeing the writing on the wall, and I think some of this has to do with Cade Cunningham. You also, like I said, we just talking about the talent. You got Cade, like I said, Ivy. I even like the Thompson twin that they draft, Asor. He showed a lot of good flashes, man. Jalen Duren. I like what I've seen from, especially in the start of the season. They got this kid Marcus Sasser. So they traded for Quentin Grimes, so they got Q Grimes there. So I like what's going on. So we could say that they have nothing, but there is something there. It's just like I said, the Eastern Conference is getting tough too. The Detroit Pistons, you're going to have to deal with teams like who you had under you. Now, okay, let's look at the Washington Wizards. Obviously, I think they're going to be in the same situation unless something drastic happens. But you look at the Charlotte Hornets. I expect the Hornets, if they're healthy, to get up into that situation where they need to be. So you have to compete with all these bottom teams that was in your position, or right around your standing, to eventually, get all the way up there. So I'm gonna really be monitoring, this whole situation with Charlotte, with the Detroit Pistons. Shout out my man Dre. Dre says Detroit haven't won a playoff game in 16 years. I'm talking about a single playoff game. At least Kemba won us a playoff game in the first round back in his prime. Yeah, the Kemba run don't get enough credit, but also I think the James Borrego run, until I see Charles Lee do something, with this team. See, we get into the Hornets, but like I said, as long as you have all the champagne rolling into the celebration room with the Celtics, all that's cool. But at the end of the day, you have to you have to put something on the board for the Charlotte Hornets. Charles Lee is going to have to do something. Now, they letting coaches go in the first year. I want to think that Charlotte is not going to be that abysmal, like the Detroit Pistons. And there's no guarantee, like I said, the Pistons is gone. To be honest, before I want to say this, I thought the Pistons was going to be one of those teams. They beat the Hornets this year. They was playing the Hornets kind of tough. You seem like these guys was going after Brandon Miller. I like what I seen from PJ Washington. He's no longer with the Charlotte Hornets. So the Pistons, they play a tough brand of basketball. The first, I would say, couple of games, I seen Jalen Duren just dominating. I said, yo, this dude is a beast. And then I'm like, okay, Monty might have something here. I personally feel that Monty Williams should have never been fired in his first year. I think that was just a tragic situation for Monty Williams. He didn't deserve that. And like I said, he was blindsided. He's saying that he was in meetings with Trajan Langdon. So at the end of the day, Trajan, he comes from, the David Griffin situation. So these things happen, and they just chalked up as business. So I don't think Monty Williams deserved that. This organization was horrendous before he got here. And I think that whoever they put in there now, like I said, was really getting at Monty. I think that 28 game losing streak did it. Because that's always going to be looked at, man. You were supposed to come in and change the culture, and you had the worst situation. They should have just kept, my man Dwayne Casey in there, for this. And then they paid you the $78 million, but I still think he should have been given another year. They had to know that it wasn't going to turn around in the first year. And that's why I think it's alarming that they paying these coaches and they firing them in the first year. And like I said, I think it was some other coaches who should have been fired in their first year, Monty in Detroit. But it was a bad situation for Monty Williams. I want to see Monty Williams get back to the NBA Finals where he was. That was a big time drop off too. I don't think people pull that into any consideration. How Monty Williams at the top of the world with the Phoenix Suns. He's in the NBA Finals. They trade for Kevin Durant. And then he gets fired, and then he's in Detroit. I mean, you can't. That's change. You talking about changing the season? The season got changed real quick on Monty Williams. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Dre says the Pistons started off 3-1. I think then they lost like 30 in a row. It was something like that. But that the start looked promising. I was like, okay, they're gonna do something. So Jalen Duren got hurt after 3-1 start, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. I think that they're not as bad as people, think. And if we're Hornets fans out there, any team that's at the bottom trying to scrape into the playoffs, you have to monitor what's going on with all of these teams. The development arcade. I think you got to bring in some people. You got Wiseman there. Also, like I said, I like what I'm seeing from Stewart. I think he's a guy who's been rolling into a leadership role there. And like I said, they got a lot of no names on this roster. When you start to go down the list, they did get Fournier, Taj, veteran presence, and I think all that's good. Hopefully they keep those guys, especially with all of these young people on this team. But you got Buddy Boeheim, you got Jalen Noel, Stanley Umadi. So you got a lot of people on here like, who is this? Simone Faticcio. You got, that's why I said they got Malachi Flynn. He played pretty decent in Toronto prior to the trade. I know the Knicks had picked him up and then they moved him. He got sent in that move with Q Grimes to get some veteran leadership up there in New York. But you let me know right now as I'm looking at this roster, who's going to be able to win when your core is Cade Cunningham, Doran, and possibly Isaiah Stewart. So this is something that they have to fix, whether it's a trade. Now you got Langdon in there. He's going to make some moves. You got to understand, not only when you got a new president, they looking to put this thing in their image. A lot of these pieces he's inheriting all of these pieces. Like I said, don't be surprised if Detroit trades somebody like an Ivy or something like that. How else are you going to bring in some value to this roster? You might have to give up one of your promising young players. Rap Guy says Ivy needs to start. Thunder says it's sad because Detroit has become a vet minimum pit stop. I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on with that. How the Detroit Pistons, have just fell from grace. Because when I was coming up, like I said, the Pistons was doing their thing. Like I remember Detroit with LeBron, with the Rip Hamilton, the Chauncey's, all of that, Ben Wallace and them. So I think ever since that era, to me, like I said, I know Reggie Jackson and them had a little run. I think they got to the playoffs one year, if I'm not mistaken, and lost in the first round. I think they got swept. But since then, with the Blake era, I'm trying to think when Blake got there. So it's crazy. Ivy says, Dre says Ivy was supposed to be the next Ja. So someone was saying, wow, these young talent in the NBA get no time. It's no joke. It's a very tough league, and they are definitely pulling the plug on these people. If you're not, checking all the boxes, you see what happened up in Charlotte. You got guys like Book Knight, he was a first rounder, and he's out the league, so if you're not excelling, you're not producing, they're getting you up out of here. It's point blank period. You just have to try it for another team. You won't be on the team that you're on now. It wasn't a point in time where people looked at Monty Williams as this guru. It's kind of crazy how these coaches just fall from grace like this, how they are just the talk of the town, best coach ever, this, and that. And then before you know it, it's like, who is this? What happened to this guy? And I think all of that is just problematic in my opinion. What's going on, with Monty. He took a bad job in Detroit. I've seen a lot of coaches just take bad jobs, that just probably wasn't the best fit for them. You look at a guy like David Fizdale, when he coached the New York Knicks. Now, they had a different personnel. They didn't have, he was dealing with not Emmanuel Quickly. He was dealing with Emmanuel Moutier and all these other dudes. And I forgot all of these fools' names, Alfred Payton and stuff like that. He damn sure didn't have Jalen Brunson. But I bring up Fizdale to say, he took a bad job with the Knicks. He was coming from that Miami Heat tree, basically coming from Pat Riley, doing your thing with Spoelstra. He took the Knicks job, and it went horrible. I doubt Fizdale will ever get a job again. What if he would have took a different job? Look what happened with Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr, if we want to take a trip down memory lane, when Phil Jackson became the president of basketball operations, and they made him an offer that he couldn't refuse because he didn't want to come to the Knicks either. So it's just that you just keep putting, just like Monty, you continue to put the money and up the contract, and listen, before you know it, you don't offer just too much. There's no way you could refuse this, and that's what happened. He tried to get Steve Kerr. You look how Steve Kerr changed the fortune of his career because the Knicks was going to require a lot of work. Now, Steve Kerr possibly could have got the Knicks they had Carmelo there. They probably could have got them to the playoffs, Kerr. Now, they obviously would have never went to the championship and won it all like Golden State did. But look how Kerr changed his fortune by taking a good job over a job that people thought it was a lock. People thought it was a lock that he was going to be with the Knicks. I think he was with Phil Jackson during the draft combine. So it was getting there. It was at the yard line now. And he decided not to take that job, and he went to go coach the Splash Brothers, and the rest is history. If he would have coached the Knicks, he would have been fired already. Or you never know. Or we could always say Phil Jackson, he tried to get it right. He tried to do things right, but for some strange reason, it didn't go according to plan. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section in the chat right now. What was your thoughts when you seen Monty Williams, getting fired? When I seen that, I just, like I said, I almost was shocked, and when I looked at it, I was like, man, you kind of heard the rumblings, but it was almost like you thought he was safe. You didn't believe that it was gonna happen. When it did, you thought maybe at least another year. You look at a guy like Steve Clifford. He was able to coach the Hornets. You got to at least get 2 years, man. If he would have been 5, that's what I said. The first year to me is like the honeymoon year, but they're not even allowing that to happen. Where your first year you able to, figure it out and stuff like that. They're not allowed. I don't know. It's tough, and like I said, we're gonna watch the next coach coming here. Will they go on a 28-game losing streak? Probably not. But will they go on a 5 to 6 or 7? It could very well be. And now we'll just see. Was it Monty? Because let's stop acting like Monty Williams' coaching was never criticized either. Kevin Durant, I believe, didn't want Monty Williams as the coach, because if he did, he would have still been in Phoenix. So something happened. It was some kind of disconnection there with all of those guys, Chris Paul and them, and all of them, which led them to just remove all of them. It's crazy, to say the least. But like I said, they made this guy Monty Williams a very paid man to just fire him in a blink of an eye like that. And this guy, Trajan Langdon, he's on the clock too. You just let go of Monty Williams. You got to change Detroit. Now, we had a lot of people come in, presidents, and they say this and they say that, but he's got to turn it around. And the East is getting nothing but loaded, man. I'm telling you, the Eastern Conference is crazy. Obviously it's top heavy when you think of all of, obviously, the Boston Celtics. When you start to think about, like I said, I'm gonna even throw the New York Knicks in there, man. I mean, the Bucks, we don't know what's going to happen with them next year. And to be honest with you, in my opinion, like I said, the East, to me, it belongs to the Miami Heat. Despite I'm not sipping the Kool-Aid with Boston, I just feel like Jimmy Butler is everybody's kryptonite in the East, including the Knicks. And I think that until they take Jimmy Butler down healthy, then we can't say anything. Rap guy said the Hawks on the clock. We're gonna get into what's going on with the Atlanta Hawks as well, because what's going on in Atlanta is just crazy, to say the least. I don't know what's happening. Atlanta got a lot of stuff happening. Thunder says Jimmy is getting older. Yeah, you're right about that. Like I said, Jimmy Butler, he got to figure it out. In my humble opinion. But y'all let me know. Do y'all think that that the Eastern Conference goes through Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat? Rap guy says Celtics are legit. Yeah, the Celtics, man, they're a solid squad. And that's another thing. That's why I was saying, Jimmy Butler should really be kicking himself, because what's happened now is you basically legitimized them, and now you're going to have to deal with this team for a while. They're going to be a lot tougher to beat. Jimmy, it seemed like he had their head somewhere in their psyche. I think now with this championship that they won, it's going to be very hard pressed to defeat them. It is what it is at the end of the day. Y'all let me know your thoughts on that. Do y'all think that it's going to be tougher to defeat them? Shout out to my man Theo in the chat. Dre says, I agree, when Butler is playing Miami. Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you. They're a very dangerous team when they playing. He going to be back, though. Y'all just, like I said, you just got to be patient with Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat and all those guys, man. It's just crazy. Thunder says Heat have a next man up mentality. Now, that's facts. Thunder says Tyler Hero needs work on playmaking and defense. I can agree with that. But Where does this leave the Los Angeles Lakers with LeBron James and Anthony Davis? We got to remember, Monty did coach AD. Like I said, it was not they coached him. So I think that why wouldn't AD want Monty Williams there? Is he the most qualified? You put him with the Lakers. Listen, when he was, it's like this. Ty Lue, he's just praised, right? When LeBron James left Cleveland, he was going to go through the same situation in Cleveland. And to his credit, he was trying to change. He ended up getting fired, a couple of games into the season. But Ty Lue actually tried to turn it around, up there. But like I said, he wasn't given the time. But it's just crazy because then he goes to the Clippers and he's coaching top-notch talent. And he still never got to the finals, the conference finals, but he's respected, So Monty, similar situation, look at the job he was at. I think that anybody would have flamed out. It's just another hiccup on Monty Williams, resume because of the way it went down up there in Phoenix. And then for him to get another job and be on the way up out the door that quick. So I think that if the Lakers come calling, do it. I think it's a big-time leverage play going on all over the coaching circuit right now because, like I said, JJ Redick I'm hearing that he is considered highly for some of these jobs, Detroit, Cleveland, and like I said, I think he's trying to force the Lakers' hand. So to me personally, I think AD would fit good with Monty Williams. We talk about the situation with the Los Angeles Lakers about the face and who's going to take the mantle after LeBron James. What better way to start building that? And give AD credit. AD played damn near the whole season, especially for a guy who's labeled as being injury prone. He played all goddamn year. So you build on that shit for next season. You go get Monty. Now you go get a coach that could kind of play through AD in a way that some of these other coaches couldn't. Now you got AD in his prime, who's supposed to be taking over and LeBron taking the back seat. But we all know that's impossible. LeBron James is not going to ever be able to take a back seat for so much long. He ends up, like I said, it's tough. I just feel like, to me personally, if the Lakers can't upgrade the talent, I think LeBron and AD just need to go and play, down low and just attack the basket every single time. But the thing is, you got LeBron. He's trying to shoot. He's trying to do this. This guy is completely unstoppable. Going to the rim, and AD is too. And for some reason, they don't play off that enough. I don't know if it's just going to exert too much energy for LeBron or what, but he needs to be playing more in the paint as he, gets older, along with Anthony Davis. So I think that's a good way to maximize AD is to bring in Monty. JJ is LeBron's guy. We don't know how long. And you hear Rich Paul running around talking crazy, talking about, okay, Bronny could come to LA, LeBron can leave. And that. So it's like you got all of this stuff going on, and you bringing in JJ Redick to appease LeBron James. And who the hell knows if he's going to be there? So it's wild. Rap gosh, you read about that. Pascal did sign that max. Well, they had to do it. They made that trade. They had to do it. Salute my man Thunder. He says, I don't think Redick has coached. He doesn't. I get that he played and knows, but hands-on experience. Yeah, that's why a lot of these other guys are more qualified. But when you have this podcast with LeBron James, it kind of takes your whole thing to another stratosphere. LeBron James, this was one big goddamn interview for JJ Redick, to usurp all of these guys who are more qualified. But you got to but JJ is the wild card out of the free agents that's out there coaching wise, because all of these guys got a resume. And that's kind of like, it kind of like It's you can use it for both. You could say, man, he ain't got no experience, man. What the hell? This is LeBron and AD, man. This is the Lakers, man. We ain't got time for this. We got to bring in a guy. But then, you also could look at it like we don't know what the hell JJ Redick is going to be. We clowning him, but he could very well come in here and just be one hell of a play caller. You don't know, he could be possibly one of the best coaches in the league. I don't know. Like I say, he's a shooter. I would like for him to work with guys like, could you imagine him working with guys like Austin Reeves, and getting his, because Austin Reeves to me should be a better shooter, and he needs to get his efficiency up, in my opinion. I want to see that. I want to see JJ come in and help out the shooters on this team. And I'm pretty sure he's going to want to get more shooting, so I'm just saying, it's a tough call. I think you want to maximize AD, you go with Monty Williams. But JJ Redick to me is the wild card, and that's for the Lakers. Now, if you Detroit, like I said, all signs seems to point to James Borrego possibly going there because of the Trajan Langdon connection up there in New Orleans, that they spend time together. Now, like I said, Borrego had LaMelo and the Hornets, right there at the 1 yard line when we talk about the playoffs. Now, they flamed out every play-in, but that's beside the point, especially when you start to think about how the Charlotte Hornets was looking the past 2 seasons. Now we could put that on LaMelo's injuries and the talent and this, that, and the third. But the last time Borrego, it was, and the crazy part was when Borrego was, the last time he was a head coach, a lot of the criticism for Borrego is his rotations, his the way he's playing guys, and there's no consistency here. What's going on? Why is his guy out there? What is it? Is the way he would bench Melo? I don't know if he was trying to act like he wasn't really benching Melo, but the people was getting some Luke Walton vibes, off of Borrego. For whatever reason. I don't know if it was coming from Borrego, Michael Jordan, or Kupchak, because he was there when Jordan was there, so you don't know what was happening, who was behind this, so that was what was being said about him. So who's to say if he comes to LA and like I said, LeBron, to be honest with you, he's going to make the call who's coming in. So Borrego, to me, I think he's a guy who would shake up the rotations, in Los Angeles. I think obviously you're going to play LeBron, I don't think he'll bench LeBron. I mean, you just going to fire yourself. But I could definitely see him maneuvering around guys, maybe minutes for certain players may not be as consistent. He'll mix and match, different lineups. I think that's something that he could do. But I just think he's the most qualified, out the free agents. And like I said, it is what it is. Rap guy says Borrego would take the Pistons job. You're right about Sam Cassell. Sam Cassell, I don't know what's going on. Like, he's been real quiet. Now, I know he's been taking jobs, but he's been quiet with it. These other dudes, they loud. They all in the media with it. Thunder says, Flight, I think Redick would be good for teams like Detroit that have nothing to lose, but for win-now teams, you're right about that. I think Redick would fit better with Detroit because maybe they'll give him the time. Like I said, I know we talk about time, and they just fired a dude in 1 year, but they paid that dude a lot of money. And Monty Williams, he was paid a lot. They changed the culture, and he changed nothing. And he didn't get enough time, but still, he didn't show enough, unfortunately. And they got that bag where they're like, man, we'll get up out of here. We'll get somebody in for less, and who they believe is going to do a better job. Y'all let me know if somebody's going to be able to do a better job, though. The only time we're going to be able to tell with that. But like I said, this is big time breaking news in the NBA. What y'all think about Rich Paul basically, flirting all these ideas about where LeBron gonna go and this, that, and the third. So is he putting pressure on the Lakers to do something? I'm hearing that LeBron and Bronny, they not hell bent on playing with each other like they once was. That was one big thing that was going on. They want to be on the same team and this, and this. So it seemed like that kind of slowed down a little bit. So it's crazy. What's going on with LeBron? What do the Lakers do in a situation like that where you have a guy basically acting like, he just not like really non-committal. He's committed. I don't think he's going anywhere, but he publicly doesn't commit to the franchise. And I think that's why a lot of true Laker fans, there's always some kind of little situation there with LeBron. They, like I said, from his murals getting, defaced, people always trying to send a message to LeBron. Thunder says Rich Paul is doing psychological warfare. Listen, that's crazy. Reeves needs to improve. Yes, he does. Austin Reeves got to do all of that. But I would, like I said, I think that JJ could help a guy like Reeves become a better shooter. Mechanics, being the guy who could, be not just a spot up shooter, but put it on the floor, cutting through screens. And that's why I think that JJ Redick could help out a lot. And like I said, he's the wild card with Borrego, and these other guys, even Monty, what you're gonna get. But if I was Rob Pelinka and I had the bag, I think the safe pick is to go with Monty Williams, just due to the fact of, like I said, his history. I'm just trusting Monty Williams, because I think that you put him with LeBron, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna be feasting to get out west, and now you could really get at, Phoenix, the way that you really want to, because now you got the pieces. And Phoenix, like I said, you see what happened with them. They had to let a coach go too. Vogel was in and out, Paul. So it's wild, what's going on in the NBA. It's just crazy. Let me know what y'all think of these coaches getting fired in their first year. Like I said, it's like getting fired in their day off. They don't get enough time. You got to give these guys a little bit more time. But it's unfortunate that they're not getting that. It's crazy. So we got big time news going on right now. It's just wild what's happening in the NBA. Want to wish these guys the best, man. Well, we had some firings today. Let me know who's coming into Detroit, who you think is the best coach. Do you think Monty Williams is going to sit a year off and maybe wait for other jobs that could come up? Because like I said, what jobs you got right now? Cleveland, the Lakers. Detroit. He's not going back to Detroit. So Rap guy said, I blame the owners for firing coach. The owners, they definitely a part of it. I mean, they gotta, but I think it really is coming from the front office guys like I said, the president of basketball operations, Trajan. He came from him. Rap guy says Pistons they definitely need the right vets. I seen that they brought some people in. They just got to figure it out. That could be key. Maybe even bringing in a guy like Derrick Rose, a guy who could come off the bench and do something. Obviously, he's going to be with Memphis. It looks like that's where he's going to finish. But I'm just bringing up guys like him because I think he can come in off the bench and show them a little something that they've never had, in a while. And I think he was on the Pistons before too, Rose. So it's gonna be interesting. Like I said, they definitely need some player personnel. That's a fact. It's wild. What y'all think of this whole Monty Williams situation? The shakeups going on in the NBA right now. Has it just begun? Or is it, like I said, is this going to be the new norm? And so these coaches getting up out of here. That's crazy how they getting coaches up out of here, y'all. not giving him no real time. Let me know if Monty Williams deserved that too. I just thought that Monty was gonna be a little bit ahead, of stuff like getting fired, and all that. Rap guy said it's the new norm. Yeah. So people got to, like I said, I guess you better produce. You can't roll in there, take your sweet time. You got to roll in there and produce something. Listen, I rock with Bi, man. I hope he goes somewhere legit. I like Brandon Ingram. I want to see him on a really good team. I wish the Knicks could get him. But Brandon Ingram, man, he don't get enough credit either. I don't know what's going on in New Orleans. It just seemed like this year has been kind of rocky for them. Obviously Zion got hurt. That was just tragic for Zion to go down like that. They needed him. They need all of the pieces that they can get. They really don't have time to do stuff like they've been doing. Rap guy says Pelicans are headed them there. Yeah, possibly. It's all about what they do. Are they going to move? I think that BI is going to get moved because they keep talking about it. But I think that could be a mistake because if you don't replace BI correctly, Zion stay hurt. So who was holding it down when Zion was out? It was BI. It seemed like they pretty much threw with CJ. I think, and I heard Brandon Ingram say that they would benefit if they had more of a pass first guard. So clearly they letting it be known, what's going on with them. So I mean, this definitely gonna be a tricky situation on what they do. Y'all let me know what's happening with them. But the NBA, man, it's crazy. The Pelicans, man, they got to get it right. Shout out to New Orleans and the Pelicans. Trajan Langdon, he was behind, Griffin. And, when Griffin got to New Orleans, he shook up things too, so this guy, he fired. What's so crazy? That's wild that I'm sitting here saying this. Stan Van Gundy. He was fired in his first year. So, mind you, Trajan Langdon was a part of all of this. This firing guys. I ain't gonna lie to Van Gundy. That was warranted. He should have never been hired in the first place. When they got Van Gundy, I was lost. I was like, man, that's just like he just wanted to hire a retread. That's a classic retread hire. Van Gundy to never need to be a head coach again. I think that the NBA, it passed him by. I don't think he'll ever have a run like a Tom Thibodeau or something like that. I think Van Gundy needs to stay right on TV and do the talking. I think that would be perfect for Van Gundy. You start putting Van Gundy, doing too much, it's a nasty look. I got Purple in the house with me. Purple, what's the deal? You see what's going on in the NBA. We got breaking news all over the place. What's your thoughts on what we talking about here?
I'm not surprised that he got fired because I personally felt, I do know Detroit was like injured a little bit throughout the year, but like they should have been better. I felt like last year, like they was worse, if that makes sense. They should have not like a play-in team, but they should have had more wins than what they did. And the fact that
I thought they was going to the playoffs, man. I thought they could compete for a playoff spot. I didn't think they were going to play them out 28 games. Do you think that? Because I'm on record as saying that I don't think Monty deserved it, but I think that 28 game losing streak, man, that didn't help. That's not good. They paid him a lot of money. I know that was like a spit. Could you imagine you paid somebody all this goddamn money? And okay, they probably knew it wouldn't go smooth sailing in the first year. But I mean, you couldn't have had a worse first year and being the highest paid dude. That was what do you think about that? That was just sickening.
I mean, yeah, but that like even when he got the contract, I was like wow, like that's a lot of money and stuff like that. But another thing that concerned me was Jaden Ivey. I was okay with Ivy. I felt like him and Kay would be an okay pair, and then I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then even now, like I've been like paying attention to like Detroit podcasts, and then just to talk for that fan base to be kind of split on whether that Ivy should be traded or if they should keep him. I'm like, what did Ivy do? I know I heard a lot of rumbling at the beginning of the year that he wanted to start and whatever. But I'm like, okay, that's normal. That ain't a reason why you should trade a player. But like I said, it just to see Detroit fall like that when they had a lot of great potential. Like I said before, minus injuries, Cade, Ivy, Durham, Jalen Durham, sorry, not Durham, and stuff like that. I'm like, it just was like, cause like they defense looked all right to me at times in games last year. That's why I was confused on why they wasn't winning much. Like I'm like, okay, they starting off playing some good solid defense and whatever, and now
I agree with you. You're making some good points there. Um, what about LeBron and AD? Where do they factor in this? You got Monty right now on the loose. You got JJ Redick. It seemed like it was the Lakers was his job to have.
hmm
What happens now?
I think I don't know what coach because I'm trying so hard not to say LeBron. Like, what coach do you give LeBron? I think the Lakers are a mess, and I think, like, first of all, I don't think you'll ever, to me honestly, see a team, regardless if they want to make money or not, ever give up so many assets within the time period like they did for LeBron James. I don't think we'll ever see that again. But I think like the Lakers just it's a mess. Like I feel bad. Like they don't I'm not gonna say they don't develop, but it's like you gonna have to do some developing now. You ain't got no choice. If LeBron comes back and signs that 3-year deal, whatever, you don't really have any cap space. Like I can't tell you what they should do. And then with the coach, like I said, I don't know what coach they need. Like I ain't even gonna lie to you. And as far as JJ Redick, I've said it before on somebody else's podcast. I think you should start off coaching a young potential superstar or just a young team. So that's like Detroit and stuff like that. Get your feet wet and whatever, and then go to a more established. If the opportunity presents itself, go to a more established team because, especially like coaching LeBron James and stuff like that, he been in the league for a while. I do feel like he don't listen to a coach, like he don't follow coach's directions because he feels like he's smarter than the coach at times. But JJ, I don't even know why he would go for that Lakers. That's dude, you're gonna be looking like Steve Nash. People gonna think you can't coach because you didn't win and coach these superstars that's been in the league, what, 10 plus, well, LeBron 20 plus years now. But yeah, you shouldn't do that. Like, go coach a younger team. Go be somebody's assistant for a couple of years.
I agree with that. What about James Borrego? Because his name is running around too. Do you think he's going to Detroit because he was with Trajan Langdon in New Orleans? It seemed like that's just a perfect, marriage. What do you think about that? Borrego in Detroit and Borrego as a whole, because I'm starting to appreciate Borrego more since the Hornets have been just went down to disintegration since he left. I think Hollis need to be paid. I know people didn't like the rotations and this, that, and the third, but shit, they're not rotating enough. Goddamn it! But go ahead.
Nah, I would just say that I still got questions about Borrego, and I don't like those questions. And then I'm questioning Like, okay, what's going on in New Orleans? Like, New Orleans structurally, they got a lot of nice young pieces. I know, Zion's there. Brandon Ingram, whether he's coming back or not, we don't know. But it's like, wouldn't you rather, to me, be in a better position, or do you just like to coach younger guys, coach them up, and then send them out you know, like you graduate in high school? I just feel like he should, if the opportunity is there for Borrego to stay in New Orleans, I think that's where he should stay, because I feel like he can be a good assistant, but not a good head coach. It's just something there that I'm like, I don't know, I don't know about you.
Yeah, that's good. You're right about that. That makes sense, man.
Yeah.
So this is why what's going on right now in the NBA. It says that rap guy says Langdon hired Stan Van Gundy. I think it was him and Griffin who hired Van Gundy. But but I was tying in how basically they fired coaches on their first year. This wasn't new. When he was in New Orleans, they let go of Van Gundy. I thought that was deserved. Do you think that Monty Williams deserved to get fired, or do you think that this was just too much for a guy of his stature? Or do you think he just ain't accomplished enough? It don't really matter.
I feel like
He
that.
should have been done a little. They should have did a little better than this.
Absolutely. And once again, like injuries, consistency, and the players on the roster. Detroit confused me. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I thought I was gonna like they little GM and whatever. And then I'm like, okay, making right steps and stuff like that. And like I said before, thought they should have won more last year. I think that Monty situation is very tricky to me personally, because I'm like, yeah, because he just won 14 games, but I'm like it's something. I feel like it's something that the GM did. Like, Monty is wrong for not playing certain players and things like that. Uh but it's like, I feel like it's something that the GM was doing and something wasn't right in the water, and that partially, what led to the situation of Monty getting fired. Because at the end of the day, it's like, oh, you responsible. Because when you look at Detroit's roster, honestly, to me, they don't have a lot of guys that can space the floor. And it's something that I didn't really catch until after the season and stuff was over, and I started paying attention to their roster. I like that they got a Soar. I think that's how you say his name, Thompson. But if you remember, I
Yeah,
think that was
I
prior
said
to.
I said that dude is a problem. I don't mean to cut you off. I like Sword Thompson. I think
Yeah,
he
yeah,
got
yeah,
some
me too.
promise.
I like him and his brother. But no, if I remember correctly, I believe, I can't think of his name now. I think he's still in Portland. But they had a big, I think he might have been 6'8", 6'9". I can't think of his name. But he was kind of like a sword, but he just wasn't a good playmaker. I felt like he wasn't a good enough rebounder. I can't think of his name though. But I was like, okay, it makes sense to trade him because he ain't really a floor spacer like that. 3-point shooter, we can argue about it, but I can't think of his name though, that they traded. So when they drafted Asura, I'm like, okay, you got, we know old dude that was in LaMelo's draft. I just knew his time was up. Like, no lie. And so when I was looking, I'm like, okay, where's the spacing? Like, where's their floor spacer at? I feel like they got a nice, decent inside presence to an extent in the post area. K to me likes to attack the rim and do things in the mid range. Where's they spacing at? Like, even with IB, I remember saying when they drafted him, I was like, okay, his 3-point percentage is decent, but I don't really see him as a floor spacer. I see him more as a second guy on that perimeter that can handle the ball and possibly get shots for others. But I'm like, they don't have no spacing. And so I'm like, that's why I'm like, I don't know how much blame to place on Monty. You can only coach the team up as good as the players that's on there, and then with health too. So it's just weird. Like, I feel like I felt like Detroit was going in the right direction, and then all of a sudden it was like, nope, we the same on Detroit. We gonna be the laughing stock, and the 28 games was terrible though. Like it was not a good look.
Yeah, they basically was letting Charlotte off the hook. You forgot about the Hornets with that losing streak. You was still they didn't take they was like everything took precedence. They took precedence over everything. God damn it! All you was thinking about was that losing streak. You didn't care about who else was just as worse. Hornets was on a 10-game or 11-game losing streak in the midst of that shit. Nobody cared
But you know
because
what?
the talk of the town was the Pistons.
Because, like I said, if I remember, Kay was hurt, if I remember correctly. And then the whole Jada Ivy being on the bench, and then I know that Durham was hurt. So they were like the Hornets out for the sake of the argument. LaMelo was progressing in an upward trajectory, and then they had Brandon Miller. Technically, like when you look at it, outside of Cade and maybe Durham, but especially Cade, you ain't really had nobody better on that roster possibly than LaMelo and Miller, or even Bridges for that extent. So I think people felt like, okay, yeah, the Hornets on the 11, they just need to get healthy and these other things, and they need to figure out who's what option and things like that.
No, I agree with that. It's a lot of figuring out, that teams got to do. But do you think that JJ Redick is going to eventually, ultimately get the Laker job, or go somewhere else? What do you think is going to happen with JJ and the Lakers?
I see. At first, I was confident that he was going to get it, but now, yeah, I think it's interesting because I see him and Borrego went an interview for Cleveland, for the God's sakes of Cleveland. Find any coach but them two, especially if Cleveland wants to continue to be a competitive playoff team. But it's tricky. To me, like I'm a Lakers casual, but I would not hire JJ Redick. I don't think they should have fired Phil Handy. I think like,
I remember that.
Go ahead and call Phil Handy back, apologize, and say, "Listen, you got the head coaching job because this is like I told you, like the Lakers just they don't have any assets. To me personally, that's worth trading for, let alone trading the first round pick for. I'm not gonna be too disrespectful because I might trade." Like even a lottery pick for this, like I feel like Austin Rivers. I mean, not Austin Rivers. Austin. What is his last name? I can't think of his. I don't want to call him Hillbilly Kobe because that's disrespectful to Kobe Bryant. But Austin Reeves. I think Austin Reeves might have went in the lottery in this draft. Maybe even Max Christie. So I might consider giving like the Lakers a first round pick for those players. But at the same time, I'm like, hell no. Nah. But like the Lakers just, I'm like, y'all don't have no coach. Y'all roster is looking bleak. D'Angelo Russell, I don't know what to say. It's bad. They need a center. I knew Jackson Hayes wasn't gonna work out. That was a desperate move. Lakers fans, like they was trying to say that's not Jackson Hayes. I don't know why y'all think that. It's the reason why New Orleans moved on from him. That's not me. Like he ain't gonna start playing better. Hi, Marvin.
What's good, Mom?
What's going on?
It's good. We sitting there talking. We talking about this news. What's going on in the NBA, man? Yeah. Where were you? And what was your thoughts when you got that notification on Monty?
I haven't got it. That's why I stepped in. You give me. I'm just gonna listen.
You didn't know that happened? Oh man, no, Monty Williams got fired.
I'm sorry.
Monty Williams got fired. In his first year of a 6-year, $78.5 million contract. New ownership. No, not new ownership. New front office came in,
Look.
and they shook it out.
Yep.
And Monty, they said Monty was blindsided because he was in all of the meetings with Trajan Langdon. The dude, he was assistant Griffin in New Orleans. Trajan Langdon. If you don't know who he is, I know exactly who he is. You know who he is, right? Purple.
Yeah. I've heard of Trajan.
Yeah. So what you think about this?
Well, I mean, listen. I mean, he went to Detroit. Detroit's a rebuilding team. We all know what Monty can do when he got, when he got a decent squad. I mean, I don't know if he got a fair shake. I mean, I'm not sure because I'm not, deep in Detroit myself. But I don't know what to say about that one. I believe he probably will get another coaching job. I guess I can ask this question. I hadn't heard that. Did they hire J.J. Redick over in L.A.?
No, not yet. Every day is a new story. Every day, one day the conversations is heating up. There's something about to happen. He's in the driver's seat. Then he's interviewing for the Cleveland job. I mean, like, what the hell is going on? I don't know what's happening.
Well, it's got to be a show for him.
Yeah, you know that.
Like I tell guys all the time, we can speculate all we want to, but none of us know. But as far as Monty is concerned, I mean, obviously they got somebody in mind, and they're gonna just fire him like that, obviously.
Yeah. Do you really think they was really trying to get that coach from Connecticut, or you think that was a joke?
Well, I mean, come on, man. I mean, who knows about the coaches coming out of college? I mean, there's been very few that came right in and made a big difference in the NBA. It's a different league up there in the NBA. So, I mean, it's a carousel, man. So, I mean, Detroit. I mean, come on, man. With the talent that they had, they're young, and he coached them 1 year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, because I didn't. They didn't have a damn good. They didn't have a good year. Now that's true. But what were you expecting out of them? So I mean, salute to everybody though, man. Salute to all the guys in the chat too. Purple and that you Ted and
like shut up about time.
Hear from you guys. I guess the finals are over, and I'm just going to address this real quick because Rap God asked me a question. He asked, well, did I think the Celtics could be a dynasty? Well, it all depends on what other teams do. I mean, did we see the Celtics unbeatable this year? I don't know if we can all ask that question, but can they keep everybody in place as far as salaries and everything? I guess that would go there. But with the current team they have, they're going to lose Horford. I'm pretty sure he's going to retire. Dynasty?
No, I think they said he's coming back for another year. I think he announced that he coming back. Yeah, I think he's coming back another year.
Well, I got a question for y'all. Does a dynasty consist of 2 straight championships, or do you have?
They're not getting 2. I don't think they're getting 2. Not if Jimmy Butler is healthy. Like I said, I think the East belong to Jimmy until otherwise.
I think a dynasty is 3 to me personally.
Yeah, I don't think 2 championships will be considering you a dynasty yet. Actually, a lot of people think 4, but 3, I think, in the day game because it ain't too many teams that got 4 championships right now. So, but back to Monty. I got a question. I mean, I guess ain't none of us watched him coach. Or we did watch some of his teams. I mean, what you guys think? I mean, was it an aberration of him with Phoenix and they won all those games because he had the talent, or was this just a bad coaching year?
I think talent is everything. Goddamn it!
Right?
Should we?
Yeah.
What the hell? I mean, we can go get the Warriors with KD. Shit, we could. All 4 of us could coach it. Goddamn it! One of y'all could be the head coach. We'll be the assistants, and we're gonna fuck around and win the championship or get to the finals. So I mean, talent is everything. But there are occasions where coaches, do things. But if your team is basically a well-oiled machine, I mean, you're not really coaching. You're not
I,
Steve Kerr. Right.
no, I was just about to say, how long was Devin Booker on that team before Monty got there?
I don't know, but I know he was there his whole career. I have to look up how long he been in the league.
So,
And y'all got to remember, it wasn't. It's definitely the talent when it came to Phoenix, because we got to remember Chris Paul was also over there.
Yeah, CP3 update stuff, because everywhere around that time, every place CP3 went, it upgraded the damn time. He went to OKC, he upped them up. So it's just like I said, this is what he did. So I don't know if it was Monty necessarily or if it was Chris Paul. No, I'm tripping. Chris Paul got their ass to the finals. His presence alone, I just think just took Phoenix to another level. That's just my opinion, but y'all can speak, y'all. What's going on, Ted?
Yo, what's good, man?
Hey, go ahead, Ted. Go ahead.
No, you good.
What's going on, baby?
Nah, go ahead, Marv.
No, I was just going to say, I'm looking at Detroit's record, 14-68. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at Detroit's record at 14-68 this past season. Ooh, man. That's firing material. That's for damn sure. Almost.
Dang, I missed it.
I mean, wow.
That'll do it. That'll get anybody fired.
68.
I think Monty should have got another year.
You said they signed him to a multi-year deal.
It was the 6 year.
That's what I'm saying. You said they signed him to a multi-year deal.
I had the contract, 78.5 million. He was like his contract was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember people talking about it.
But seriously, they must have paid money because they got to pay another coach and they still got to pay him.
That's facts.
Yeah. So
I think they're just going in a different direction.
Who?
Pistons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that fast, Ted?
Yeah, he was a placeholder.
I mean, what direction?
That much money. You think that much money?
You gotta. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. To sign him in that kind of contract.
I'm saying that, but they got rid of him too, right? After signing him to that, right? They probably just figured it's something they could do. But they're a young team, man. They got work to do. I mean, me personally, I just think they want to go in a different direction.
Oh, but like you did say, it was a new front.
Wow, yeah, you got Trajan Langdon came through.
Yeah, you got to factor that in too.
Yeah,
he want to do it.
Jaden Ivey might really be
for a second. I got to talk
too.
Yeah,
I do think they better pay Kate, of course, but it's tough. But I wouldn't replace Ivy until next year because, to me, I think the question you have to ask yourself is how different does this team look with possibly Dalton connecting your backcourt? I don't know why people keep giving Detroit projecting Detroit to draft wings that can't shoot from the perimeter. They definitely don't need that. I do watch enough Detroit games to know that they need scoring from the perimeter badly, really, really badly.
Well, you see, what you're saying sounds good, and I ain't knocking it, but personally, I think they're scrapping everything. Like Trajan Lang coming in there, and he's drawing a line through everything. And I just think he probably fired Monty because at the end of the day, he don't want him to, take on the back ends of whatever he's about to do. That's just my opinion because the way that team is looking right now, they got to shake things up. So it's probably gonna be a bunch of trades. He's gonna, it's a young team coming up. They're actually the very last team left. For a minute, they had it where they felt they had the roster that can make some moves. Possibly get into that playoffs and do something. But ever since they drafted Cade Cunningham, they took a back step. So they gotta make some moves.
Cade?
I'm sorry?
You think it's Cade Cunningham? He the problem?
No. He's not the problem. He's actually possibly the solution. What I'm just trying to say is after drafting him, they didn't make any positive moves. And making that making the moves in the front office is probably what they felt was best to do, because probably they don't feel like the problem is on the court. You understand? So you bring somebody in who could, clean house, get things together. And at the end of the day, Trajan just probably felt that ain't the coach for him.
Now, I ain't gonna lie, I like the dude Jalen Duran, and I like Stewart. I think Isaiah Stewart. I think them dudes are all right. And Cade, I think is a problem. I say he just need to get in the right situation.
Yeah.
Stay healthy, most importantly.
Yeah, he could drive 50 on you.
Yeah, but they're a team similar. Like if you look at their build up, they're similar to a team like the Knicks. If you could get that type of effort out of the team, you understand. So I don't think Monty not really the type of coach that could get it out of young players. Yeah, he. Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking about something. I do agree with what you said, but when you think, I feel like it is a defensive coach. Oh, no, he went back to Milwaukee. Never mind.
I got a hot take for you though.
I forgot he went back to Milwaukee. What?
I got a hot take for you though.
What?
This is just my opinion, but don't be surprised if he hired Mark Jackson. It's just a hot take, man. I know that one is on fire. That's a hot take, but
I mean,
don't be surprised. I'm sorry. You in the background? I can't hear you. Yeah. I'm just saying, for the type of team that they have, that'll be the perfect coach.
Wow.
Who you said would be the perfect coach?
Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson, man.
Yeah, he'll get a lot of kids.
They flirting with Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson got a show too. People don't even support the damn show. It's sad what's going on. You didn't even know Mark Jackson had a show, did you?
Nah, I didn't know he had his own show. I seen him on Gilbert.
He on the network with Cameron. So basically the same show it is.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Well,
Mark Jackson's show come on the same channel.
Well, you see,
you should see the drastic views from Cameron's show to Mark Jackson's show. Mark Jackson's show is probably the worst viewed show out of anybody that's in there. I just don't like how they do with Mark Jackson. It's like I don't know if he's shadow banned. Something going on.
Nah, he good.
What's going on? He can't even get the guests right. I mean, it's just don't make sense, man. Something's going on.
He's funny as shit. Mark Jackson a little bit different though. He's not really a personality. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to put a package together.
But is he a good coach?
Yeah, he's doing it with his son too. Like him, Mark Jackson, and his son is doing the show. I mean, it's doing views, but it just ain't doing the views that I feel like it should be doing. Like for Mark Jackson, I just feel like he's not getting the support. I don't know. And like I said, you are right. A guy who there's something going on. He revitalized Golden State. He instilled the culture in Curry, and he set that shit off. And the other motherfucker, they done buried his shit.
Yeah, but the fix been in for him. Everybody knows what it is.
He's going to be a blimp in the story. He's going to be a blimp in the fucking story when it's over. Or Mark Jackson came, but Steve Kerr came and shook it all out.
But hold up. I got a question on that, though. Now, did he win that with Curry and him because of the talent? Just like we talking about what Mike Williams just went through.
Who, Mark Jackson?
Listen, they was gonna eventually get there.
Yeah, when he was with Golden State.
Nah, Mark Jackson. Mark built that team, bro. That question that you asking should be towards Steve Kerr.
They would have eventually broke through, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. With Mark Jackson, hell yeah.
I mean,
that's like, all right, cool. I don't mean to cut you off, but that's like DeMar DeRozan. I'm not saying they would have fooled around and won the championship. But if he would have stayed in Toronto and LeBron went out west, the Raptors would have at least got to the finals at least one year, at that time. I don't know if they would have won the whole thing, but they would have at least got to the finals.
You got to think about it, though.
Team in their way.
You got to think about it, though. I mean, that's a great debate. That's a great debate. We'll never know the answer to that, but you got to think about it. The best way to really analyze that is you got to look at the way they won it. You know what I'm saying? He hit that crazy, but it's just it's like a fairy tale. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, would DeMar been able to produce that type of game? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
Come on.
we been able to take out that Sixer team. That Sixer team was loaded.
Yeah,
That was before Ben Simmons forgot how to play.
He said before Ben Simmons forgot how to play. He funny. Yo, you funny, bro. Yeah, but I don't know. I can't call it on that one, but that's a good debate though.
Ooh, some people get on my nerves, dog.
Who upsetting you?
It's just fan coach. It's just aggravating. Like when you be seeing stuff, you be like, yo, like just think about what you want for a second. Just really think. Like the Bulls, they wilding, yo. Like they out of pocket. I'm like, bro,
I
y'all
like that energy.
playing. Talking about, yeah, we're gonna keep it together. I was like, yo, like y'all wild. Y'all ain't did nothing to me really since Derrick Rose got hurt. What is you doing, dog? Like, let it go.
Yeah, we got to tap into Marvin because Marvin got the archives, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man. If Marvin pulled those archives, and we look at where these teams are right now, it's an interesting situation.
We're gonna agree to mine.
Who got the
Can you hear
echo?
me
That's
now,
me.
guys? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you better, but it sounds like you got an echo.
Gosh. Is it echoing on your end too, Kid and Flight?
Yeah. I thought it was me.
Oh, what'd you say, Marvin?
Am I echoing?
Just start talking. I hear some static in the background, but just talk real quick.
All right, I'm gonna change and go to another device. Hang on a minute. I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, like I'm just looking like I'm gonna ask you this, Ted, since you're here.
What's up?
Do you think Cleveland should keep
Hmm.
themselves together like currently?
I don't know. I you got to really see where Cleveland have their problem at. They're pretty good. All right, let me ask you this question. Did they accomplish what you feel like the team should have accomplished this year?
Yeah, I think they did pretty solid. I would like to see them take a next step, but I do think as long as they get a wing, that's what I need them to get. Max Strauss is okay, but I think he would be more suitable on the bench, like coming off the bench as a shooter instead of starting. I like I don't know. And then I also feel like, as I've been saying, I think Mobley needs to play at the 5, not the 4, at the 5.
Here goes a good question for you. Are you happy? Are you happy with that backcourt?
Yes and no. I want Garland to be a better defender than what he is. I know at this point, Donovan Mitchell is that guy that
I don't like that.
but he's a scorer. To me, he
All right.
put up points. But I do wish the backcourt was better defensively and stuff like that. But I
All right.
think it can work.
You think it could work?
Mhm.
I don't. But all right, I ask you this other question. I'll break down why I don't though, but I ask you this next question. I'm saying who's the point guard between the two of them?
Me, I would say Garland, but I do understand because what you're thinking of how dominant Mitchell is on the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather him be, more off ball, but I know that's an impossible task, especially now where he is in his career. But if he could, be a little bit better off ball, Mitchell, that is, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I obviously no, I prefer defense. So I do know that they need to get better defensively, but I'm wishing on too many stars, hoping that Mitchell, plays better off the ball.
I got you. Well, in my opinion, I'll give you my opinion on what I think they need to do if they do something. Out between Garland and Donovan Mitchell, they got to make a choice.
Absolutely, I'm not mad at that.
Number one, the backcourt is too small. Number two, both of them are ball dominant, and number three, between the two of them, being that Garland is the younger player, he's not able to blossom the way that you think he should blossom.
Mm-hmm.
So what they should do. Get my boy to the Knicks, you know what I'm saying? Like, send him over here.
Hell no. You talking about God?
Nah, Donovan Mitchell. You crazy.
Yeah, Mitchell, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Send my boy over here and y'all figure that out. We give him some pieces, you know what I'm saying? Nah, let me stop.
Y'all we keep it real, man. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, man. Y'all call me crazy, but if LaMelo have a healthy year and he requests a trade, man, you know, man, I like Brunson, man. I do.
Nah, Brunson good. He good. But you see,
y'all know where I'm going with this. I love Brunson.
Where you going with that?
Oh, Marvin, you didn't woke Marvin up.
I'm just saying that if
What you trying to say?
If LaMelo has a healthy season, the Hornets shit don't work out. And so, listen, you know, listen, man, they fuck around request a trade. The Knicks need, listen, I'm putting Brunson on the motherfucking table, man. You know, it's about
what?
It's about the next 10 to 12 years.
You
listen,
crazy.
I'm crazy.
Like, I love Melo, but
Listen. Well,
talk about a hot take. That one is on fire.
But I'm rolling. That's how that's how confident I am in LaMelo Ball's game that I'm willing to put this motherfucker Jalen Brunson on the table. If he, and mind you, I said if health comes into play, LaMelo have a healthy year. You know.
Yeah, listen, I was about to say that too because Brunson is more durable.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Wait a minute. Let me ask you this, Flight. Hold up, Flight.
Upside is clearly with LaMelo.
I'm hitting.
Hold up, Flight.
LaMelo this shit look easy. Brunson is working his ass off for everything he getting, which is good. I like it. But his talent is not effortless. He worked to get where he could. This nigga Melo do this shit with one hand tied behind his back.
Knicks don't need it.
Listen, we know Brunson brought a culture here, but I'm just saying. You know, go ahead. And I'll say something else about the Knicks in a second.
That statement that I made about Mitchell coming over here, I was just joking about that. But all jokes aside, with the Knicks, the Knicks do need something, bro, they need a small forward that could put that ball in the bucket,
you know what I was gonna say? That's crazy. I was gonna say that. If I'm the Knicks, man. All right, now we rolling with Brunson. I was gonna screw the hot take.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my emotions talking too, man. I want Melo in New York, man.
Wait a minute, guys. Wait a minute. Hold it. Didn't you guys just have a small forward that y'all drinking?
No, but hold on.
No. We talking about a high scoring small forward.
I got a good one for y'all.
Kevin Durant.
Nah. Listen. But this is what the Knicks need to do, man. And I think this is gonna push their ass to the finals. And I think this is something that could get done. If all else fails, man, put the fucking first round picks up and just get Mikal Bridges from the Nets. Just complete the Villanova trio. Fuck, just bring the Villanova. He completes the Villanova connection. You understand? You could probably pry him away from the Nets if you can have to put some of them first round picks on the table. I'll just do it. You know, to pair him with I think Mikal Bridges with the Knicks in this culture, with this defense, Thibodeau, like, yo, you better put them picks on the table. And because there's something going on with him anyway, where he don't know if he want to be there. You know, he might want to. He want to be with the Knicks.
I agree. I can't even go against that take.
Brunson, what do you think about that? I want Mikal Bridges in New York.
Nah, that's fire, bro.
I'm telling you, and I think
because it's that type of small forward we need. That linky, long to play defense, but still put the ball in the bucket. That's
and
what
this
we
motherfucker
need.
could shoot.
Yeah,
hey,
exactly.
I think y'all missed the point about the Knicks. The Knicks need health.
We got health. It's the off season. Everybody gonna be healthy by the beginning of the next year, man. Come on now.
Okay,
I mean, the next season.
All season? What about the full season?
Nah, you see, I'm always argue with people about that or not argue with people about that. Bro, that's part of the game. It's like walking. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't, everybody always use that to defend themselves with things. Like, you know, you're gonna get hurt. It's a physical sport. I mean, look, the Celtics just won the chip. I mean, come on now. You don't think part of that is because of injuries?
Listen, when the Knicks got picks, like all them first round picks, you can pull something off like that with the Nets, man. I hate to go back to that.
No, you good.
Picks.
All right, what about Randall? What about Randall?
4 of them, though.
Who?
Y'all keeping Randall? You keeping Randall?
Nah, if you could keep him. But
Yeah,
most likely you're gonna have to get rid of him.
you might have to go with them picks.
The question I would ask about Randall, and
Or
this is
maybe
what a
not.
lot of teams are going to be doing, by the way, is when you look at this draft, unfortunately, can you find somebody in this draft that can come in and, from an offensive standpoint, produce like Randall is producing with better rim protection and overall defense? If you cannot find that player, then you looking at the trade market. I don't think you're gonna find a player like him, like what I described. So they might. The best thing for them right now is to keep him. In
Who?
all honesty, Randall.
Who? Oh,
Yeah, it's to keep him because there's nothing out there like.
now the Knicks are good. First, I mean, sorry to cut you, but the Knicks are good. To be honest with you, the roster that they have right now, fully healthy, starting the season, they good. Look where they got to. I mean, they don't got to do too much. They in a position. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You're good.
No, I was just about to say Milwaukee is a huge fucking question mark. Like they got a lot to work out to me. But do you think all healthy and stuff like that they're a better team than Milwaukee and Philly?
Oh man, fully healthy. It's a battle with any team. However, this is the reason why I can't really factor in the health thing to defend teams because it's part of the game. Like if you're on the opposing team, you're hoping one of their players go down. You understand? So you got to implement that into the game. So fully healthy, anything can happen. So it's hard to answer that question. But with luck, which is part of the system, anything can happen, man. I think they're good enough. I mean, it's all about who goes down and who stays up at the end of the season.
Yeah. Well, I say this. On 127, Julius Randle went out. The Knicks was 29-17. 12 games over.
Mm-hmm.
And they had they core because Anunoby was on their team and they had just about the full money Joe. So I'm gonna say this. With Randall, because I had mentioned it plenty of times on a bunch of shows, I felt the Knicks, if they were healthy, they were the best team in the NBA. If they were complete health. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people, if you look at that whole squad healthy, man, there wasn't too many people going to beat. But when I say health is a difference in the Knicks, what I mean is this. Because I know Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau needs a very, very good bench. People that can burn up some minutes for them starters so he don't burn them starters down. He needs production from that bench. He needs somebody he can trust. And we all know that. Now, I ain't knocking him because he's a coach. He is a coach, but I'm talking 29-17. That's when they still had Grimes. That's when they still had a couple of more guys on this team. And they got better. If Julius Randle, and then you look at Julius Randle's number, 25-9, you're not going to get that every day. Now, I know he probably was a little have a problem with his attitude and everything, but his production never. I mean, I guess you can say his production kind of suffered through that because he might get a tech here or whatever that. But he was a winning player to me. I always said I would love it in Chicago, but I really believe the Knicks need to build a complete team. If you bank on the Knicks starting five and Thibodeau being the coach, they're not gonna make it the whole season. That's all I'm saying. Because he gonna play. I mean, I'm not blaming him. Don't get me wrong, but he gonna play him a lot of minutes. Now, when you got Anunoby, and then you got the rest of these guys that came on this team, it was a little bit too late because you lost Randall, and then you lost your center, and you still was short. But with those players in place and not as many minutes, because I don't know if you guys remember, but in the middle of the season, you clocked the Knicks players' minutes, they were leading the league in minutes played, including Brunson. Now, Brunson is that dude there, man. He was something truly special for the Knicks this year. Now, we all can say that. But can he do that 2-3 straight years under Thibodeau? I don't know, guys. I'm telling you the truth. He
Well, they're
played.
gonna make a move.
All right. What kind of move is what I'm asking to you?
Nah, we're gonna make a move. What shows up? What shows itself? What's available? The Knicks are in a position right now. Listen, man. If you date back 2 years ago, we weren't talking like this about the Knicks. And what I'm trying to say is, and trust me, you played certain things back for me, my guy. Like I was the number one Nick hater
Yep.
at that point in time. You understand? Now
Heard that.
I didn't have faith in Thibodeau. I didn't have faith in the front office. I didn't have faith in nothing. You know what I'm saying? They proved me wrong. Now, where they at right now, let's be for real. If they were healthy, like let's put it for real. If the Knicks went against the Celtics, I mean, let's be for real. That would have been a problem for the Celtics.
No, I don't think so.
If they was healthy, Purple. If they was fully healthy, they'd have beat the Celtics, man.
Nah,
No, they wouldn't.
you know what?
No, they
It was,
would.
well, I didn't say beat, but I said it would have been a problem. Now, who would
Yeah.
have won? I don't know. You understand? I'll throw it up in the air. I mean, if I want to be biased, I'm gonna say the Knicks. But what you do got to realize is that the problem that the Mavs had, that the Knicks would have never had, is that the Knicks know how to play defense.
Right.
The Mavs couldn't do nothing. They couldn't stop them from putting the damn thing in the bucket.
It wasn't
You know-
just a defense though. Like you had other players outside of Tatum, because Tatum had, like, to me personally, 2 good games. But other than that, he did other things.
Yeah.
But like from a scoring perspective, he was terrible.
I
They
want to
had
address
guys
this
like-
Tatum thing, man. So you bashing him too? If you are, please finish so I could address this.
It's not bashing. It's literally what happened. Like Drew Holiday, did his job from an offensive scoring point, and as far as a playmaker, like I said, Jason Tatum did other things, but
Just remember that you said that. Keep going.
yeah, he did other things, but I think those other things, like, although they were impactful, it's a reason why Jaylen Brown won the Finals MVP, because it wasn't, so much about Jaylen Brown scoring. It was about, what he did on the other end of the court.
All right, let me just address this right quick, right? Because it's bothering me a little bit that everybody keeps bashing on Tatum, and I'm sorry if you're not bashing him. I got you. I apologize. That's just the word that I'm choosing to use because I hear it left and right, bro. First of all, people need to understand basketball is a team game. And if you guys been following the Celtics, you understand, because what I keep realizing is everybody want to judge the Celtics from where they are at that point in time. But this is a team that's been growing, and you got to understand the growth of the team before they get to that position where they sprout their last flower. You understand? And they reach that point where they sprouted their last flower. Now, what you need to give Jason Tatum his respect is because all those years, okay, when they won it, everybody wants to give somebody else the credit. But he's the one who helped build the team to get to the position where they're able to win it. And the reason why they're able to win it, ladies and gentlemen, is because while he was going through all that grit and grind, you understand, when everybody was loving him because he was putting up the numbers that everybody was loving, that's him holding the team down. They got to the finals and they didn't win. Everybody want to bash him for that. Okay, but this year when they came in, they have a complete team. And what happens is when you're a star player playing with another star player, you have to take a step back. Somebody has to take a step back. You understand? I'll give you the perfect example. At the final game that they played when they won that championship, did you not realize how the two of them were fighting each other to see who could win the MVP? Didn't you see Tatum just putting up shots that he wasn't supposed to put up, just totally ignoring the offense at that one point in time in the fourth quarter? You understand?
Okay.
Now, no, hold on. Let me just finish this last point. That's the game that you guys are looking for. But if he played that game, they wasn't winning that chip. That's all I wanted to get across.
I want to say something about that too. I was checking. I was on another panel earlier yesterday, and the question was this: is Tatum a superstar? And what a lot of people said was, well, he didn't win the MVP in the finals. So I asked him, is Jaylen Brown a superstar? Because he won.
Beautiful question.
They all got real quiet for a minute, and they all said no. They all said no. Well, I'm just saying though, how can you base a superstar on just because he was the MVP in the finals.
Yeah, that's
And I'm
stupid.
with Ted on this one. I go by the numbers. I go by consistency, and I know it's been rough. But like I said, they've been beating Tatum up for the last 3 years. They never was good enough. Let everybody tell it. Now they didn't want it, and they still beating him up. So he didn't do good enough in the finals.
Yeah,
Well,
go ahead, man. I'm sorry, man. Because I'm not gonna lie, I am emotional over this because it's a light skin thing. But go ahead, man.
No,
yeah,
that's not why.
I don't believe it's
I'm
that.
telling you,
I believe-
I'm gonna make my point on that. But go ahead, man.
I don't believe it's that in a nutshell, Ted, because of the simple
It's a
fact.
mixture of his light skinness and his personality, his demeanor. He's too relaxed, and people don't like that, bro. But you know what? He got a strong mother.
And his play, because he shoots too many bad shots. Now he does do that.
Bro, I play ball. Let me tell you something, right? If I'm playing with it, and I keep trying to harp on this, right? It's the team that he has. The surrounding is what that coach is telling it. You see, we're looking at it from the outside in. You understand? But what I'm trying to tell you is his confidence is built within that team. That's why you've seen a different Jason Tatum this year. All right, the numbers may not add up, but at the end of the day, what do you still say? He did other things. That means his coach sat him down and told him what his role was. But because we're on the outside looking in, and the coach ain't going to come and explain this to you guys. You understand? That's not his job. But if you're a true understander of the game, you would see that he did take a step back. Now, granted, the step, because it's a natural flow of the game. Whoever has it goes. You understand? And what happens is it's just that Jalen just had it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give it to him.
And Jalen shot 24 times in the final game, and Jason only shot 15.
And that should show you guys also that he's a true teammate. He doesn't care. That's what he really shows you. Most of all, what he's showing y'all is that he doesn't care what y'all think. You understand? Like the togetherness is there. There's no competition between the two of them. We're the only ones who put them against each other.
Okay,
Right.
that's cute and all to me.
Yo, salute to you. Bang, bang.
And regardless if they won or not, because you got to give them credit for they win, which was impressive. But I still seen some of the things that I seen the year prior when they played Golden State, basically, that I seen in this year's finals, where as good as Brown played, particularly in game 5, when they won, that 3-point shooting, it's not like, I understand they have to take the shots, but it's neither one of their strengths in their games. And I felt, Tatum attacking and the basket and putting up mid-range, that's cool. Like, as long as you do that, you can miss. Same thing with Brown, attack the rim, get to the free throw line. Like, I just felt like if Dallas had a wing, like better wing production, or a guy that was equal to Tatum offensively, Dallas would have won.
Okay.
Let
me say this, Purple. I told you guys this a long time ago, and I'm going to say it again. I said this a year and a half ago before Boston even got this guy, and I'm going to say it again. They won the championship simply because they had Drew Holiday.
Yeah, a player.
They had a player that can guard either Luke, or either Kyrie, and that will free up Jaylen Brown or Tatum.
But you're making my point.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I understand what you're saying about a team game. I understand that, but I'm just telling you, and a complete team. Listen, the worst damn thing Milwaukee ever did was to get rid of Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday first of all, he's a winning player, and he's always, even if his person he's playing against scores 25, it was a rough ass 25 that day because Drew Holiday gonna be on his ass. So all I'm gonna say is this. When you have that, and you have two other players like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they exert as much energy as they have been doing, including when they had Marcus Smart, because everybody said Marcus Smart was all this and all that. And I ain't knocking Marcus Smart, but he's not Drew Holiday. He's not. I've always liked Drew Holiday. And Milwaukee just felt the brunt of losing Drew Holiday. Now, I know they were hurt, but they could take it.
It wasn't even just the Drew Holiday. It was, I respect the right in believing in Chris Middleton and stuff. It's Chris's consistency in his health, and I just felt like that wasn't a good. You should have traded Middleton. Is what
Yeah.
they done.
I mean,
In honesty.
I can tell you guys this: Drew Holiday will do what you need. If you need him to score 20, he can do it. If you
Mhm.
need him to shut down the main player on the other team, he can do that. He can partially do it. He can run a team. He ain't never hardly rattled ever, and y'all can attest to that. He's just one of those winning players, man. And he
Absolutely.
brings rock solid to the Celtics is what they needed. They were erratic. They were almost all over the place. He brought that stability to the Celtics quietly and brought them all the way. He didn't bring them all the way through because he actually didn't play very many games. When they finally got him over in the trade. But look at the difference he did when they got in the playoffs. He was critical in every playoff series. I mean, not necessarily the guy, but quiet behind the scenes. He was the man taking care of this, doing that. So, and I'm not giving him all the credit. No, I'm not. But I know he's a winning formula to a winning franchise or to a winning team. You know,
Right.
and to say that about almost any team in the NBA, he would fit on it, and I mean that. So I believe when you get players like that, then you really stepping forward far as a championship. Boston was 1 or 2 players away. They got 1, and then they got Porzingis 2, and he helped also. But then when they got when they got Drew Holiday, that solidified that starting 5.
Yeah.
And then let's not leave out White guys because he I don't know how much credit he actually deserves or he gets, but he needs to get a lot of credit because he played well.
Hey, could I just ask a question? Because I just want to drill it in a little bit, bro. And you're gonna call more names, right? So with that being said, what the hell do they want from Tatum? But keep going, bro.
I mean, that's what I'm saying is this, and I'm adding to that point too, Ted. I'm saying because listen, he's always been ragged on every year, even though they got to the finals and lost. Oh, well, you guys swept them, didn't do this, but then now he win it, and they get the MVP to Jaylen Brown, and he still ain't this. But then he averaged 27 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds this year. I know that's regular season. I know. He didn't. I don't know what he averaged in the playoffs.
My only gripe is with Tatum's it's like when a couple months ago, I don't know if Marvin, you was on here. I feel like you was, and we was talking about who was more talented between or who was the better player for the team with Kawhi and Paul George. It's that same thing with Tatum and Brown, where I feel like heads and shoulders. I don't think Tatum to me is more complete than Brown because I like my defense over my offense. But from an offensive standpoint, Tatum clears Jaylen Brown. Like it ain't no conversation when it comes to that. So it's kind of frustrating when he from a shooting or not shooting, but when like scoring like it was just, especially watching this finals, I was just like.
All right, I got a question, man. Are you a Boston fan?
No.
Oh, okay. Now, damn, I wish you was. I wish your answer was yes, because I would love to ask, like, are you willing to get rid of either one of them?
No.
I didn't think so.
I think they balance themselves out like Kawhi and Paul George.
That's what I'm saying. It's like people criticize these two dudes because it's fun, I think. I don't think there's really no true criticism. It's like y'all looking for they're literally on an even scale. Y'all looking for that one person. Hold on. I respect it though. Don't get it twisted because it's a true fan. You're looking for competition. But what I'm just trying to say is it's like y'all looking for one of them to come off as the clear alpha. You understand? Like how the Bulls were, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Michael Jordan, because there was never this debate. I mean, people did debate it, but it was a clear answer. You understand? What it is with these two is just there's no clear answer because the game kind of coincides with each other. It's like I just don't. And the main thing that's bothering me is that if they're on the same team, they're on the same team. I mean, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? Like he's supposed
Well,
to score. They both supposed to score 40? Like what is it that you're
No,
looking?
here's what I look at. I don't think like Butler. I think Butler can score, but can Butler be your number one option as a, to take your team places? Absolutely not. When I look at Tatum and Brown, that's how I feel about Brown. Yeah, Brown can score. He can get his buckets. But he, to me, is like a clear, by far, second option to me, where Tatum, from a scoring standpoint, to me, is more superior in that space. So when he's not doing well as a team, like you said, it paid well to have Jrue Holiday and Kristaps this year, and just the production that Derek White came out and did, and Peyton Pritchard as far as their shooting and stuff like that. But
all right, let me ask you this thing, guys.
what?
This to all of you all. Celtics, 2 seconds to go. They got the ball. Who gets the last shot?
The open man.
Tatum. It don't work.
That's it. There's no, you know what I'm saying? The open man. I don't give a damn. That's how you play.
It don't work.
I know that's the proper way of playing, Ted, but you're gonna look for one of the two stars on the team.
But that's my point though. But you gotta understand what I'm trying to tell you, right? The reason why it's the open man, because if that man even takes a shot that he shouldn't take, meaning forcing the ball up, us as fans is gonna. Let's be for real. Are you gonna? And you seen the over? He's the star player. He goes up to take that shot, and there's a wide open player. You know what I'm saying? And he misses it.
Yeah,
you're not gonna criticize him and say you're supposed to make the right play.
I didn't mean it in that.
Or you're gonna say, or you're just gonna sit there and say, "I'm glad you missed the shot, but you know what? I'm gonna bow to you because you're my best player."
All right, hold on. I worded it wrong. Who is the play drawn up for?
Okay, that's a better question.
It's always Tatum or Brown.
Well, it's gonna be for one. I'm drawing up 2 plays. It's for both of them. Now, who do it based? And I get the question that you're asking because it's just me being an actual ball player, so I have to be a little bit technical. I could give you a dry answer like what you're asking for, but at the end of the day, you have to understand the situation that you're in. You understand? You got to understand the personnel that's on the court defending you. You understand? Now, let's say for instance, the smaller person is on Tatum. I might go with that option. You understand? If it's vice versa, I might go with that option. Those type of things count.
As a winning formula, you're supposed to look for the open man. We know that. All I'm asking is who is the play going to be drawn up for?
No, I just told you what I said. No, all right. If I have to choose one, how I'm going to choose it is based on the defensive personnel on the floor. So if the smaller player or the player that, has the least, the weakest link. Yeah, exactly. Whoever the weakest link is on. You understand? That's who I'm going to draw it up for. Just put it like that. But if you want a dry answer, I mean, I just throw, I'll say Brown.
Because
if it's a jump shot, I'm going to say Tatum. If I need you to get to the bucket, I'm going to say Brown. Just put it like that.
Yeah. One of the reasons I asked that is because of the same situation when the Bulls were playing well and they had DeRozan and Levine. How many last shots did Levine get in front of DeRozan? Now, let me finish. I'm letting you guys know why DeRozan would always, most of the time, get the last shot, because of his shooting percentage and where he shot the ball. And I always said I would rather have DeRozan with the ball late than Zach, because Zach could step back 4-3. Even if they were down 1, he wouldn't give a damn. But, and I'm telling you the truth, the difference in DeRozan and Zach is shooting percentage. Now, I'm going to say this. The difference in Tatum and Jaylen Brown wasn't necessarily shooting percentage, because Jaylen Brown shot 48%, Tatum shot 40%. As bad as he takes shots, purple baby, he shot 47% from the field this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to ask the question, just to, even in your defense, Ted, why it's so hard for people to give Tatum credit. Now, I agree with you totally. With having those 2 players on the team, I'm going to assess the defense, and then we'll try to get the best shot. But usually at the end of a game, if it's 5, 10, 15 seconds left, a play is drawn up, and it's very seldom that it's drawn up for two players. Steve, I'm gonna tell you that. Now there is options.
Marvin, this is the reason why I push back, bro, because it's an oxymoron conversation. I just can't. What I'm saying is I have options.
Yes.
Okay, and that's the opposing team. And if I have, who's you to tell me that I have to pick between my options? I'm a coach.
Say it again. Between the best players to take the shot.
What I'm trying to tell you is, all right, there's two ways to look at basketball. You know what I'm saying? There's the casual way and then there's the technical way. I look at it a technical way. I really can't give you a casual answer because my brain is just not wired that way. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So with that being said, like if I have, it's like what I'm saying is if I have more than you, why would I not utilize my more? Is what I'm trying to say. Why am I choosing? Why am I cutting piece of what I could use to dominate off to even myself up with you?
Yeah. Well, here's a prime example of what I'm getting to. What I'm getting to is exactly what you're saying too, Ted. I go back to my Bulls teams when they were winning championships. Do you guys remember how many times Jordan passed the ball to Curry and he hit that shot? How many times
exactly the open man? Go ahead,
how many times he passed the Hodges when they hit that shot? Paxson, he hit that last shot. I ain't saying to win the game, but late in the game and put them up. Right. Jordan did it numerous times, but they never talked about it as much because of how much Jordan did during the games. But Jordan did it a bunch because that's what made Steve Kerr win. That's what made Hodges. That's what made Paxson. They would be in the corner open. Jordan, he draw the double team, kick it to him, and bam, they're knocking that.
Steve Kerr wasn't even. I mean, he was a shooter, but he wasn't a super dead eye like that. But because he hit that shot in the finals, that's where his fame came from. That's why he's known as a shooter like that. You understand? But guess what? He only did it one time. And that's the point of what I'm trying to make to people is at the end of the day, if you make the correct play, it could last a lifetime. You see what I'm trying to tell you?
Okay, on the flip side, let's mention the player. I believe, I don't think it was J.R. Smith, but I think LeBron was still in Cleveland, and LeBron felt like he made the right basketball play, but yet people tore him a new one and said he's not the clutchest player.
I remember that.
Like that. Like I was just looking at it. I'm like, really? Like, I don't care about who's taking the most shots in the last 5 minutes, the last 2 minutes, and who's more clutch and what the percentage look like. It's like you said about finding the open man, but players get toward a new one. If you're a star or a superstar, I would say.
Now, hold on. Let me show you something though, right? And I don't know if I'm about to put my foot in my mouth. I probably am. Y'all let me know, right? Or maybe I'm just biased. But what you're saying right there, I mean, honestly, when you compare, you see now, you can't come. Are you comparing Tatum to LeBron?
No, I'm just comparing the situation. When you're saying,
no, because what I'm trying to say is like, when you have those type of, I don't know how to put it, like, LeBron is supposed to be this far-fetched ball player, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, that type of level. If you can't call Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown that, because it's tears, you know what I'm saying? So those type of dominant players, like LeBron, will get that type of criticism because at the end of the day, I mean, even if you make the right play, you're supposed to make it. I don't think he should be criticized if you make the right pass. You understand? But those dudes should be criticized because you want people to look at you like you're as great as the great that came before you. You understand?
Well, like, I want to give props to Rap God because he brought up a good point in the chat. He writes, James Worthy won Finals MVP over Magic and Kareem, and he was the second scoring option.
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, Andre Iguodala won MVP, and what did he do compared to his teammates? I mean, that happens. That ain't nothing. Yeah. And honestly, you got to respect things like that because it goes to show you that the voting is real. It's not a biased voting. So when you see a third string player is able to win an MVP, that gives me confidence in the league. It makes me know it ain't fake.
On the flip side, look how people tease Curry. Oh, Iguodala won and all this, and you couldn't win, with the MVP that is. the Finals MVP until Durant left and all this other stuff. The only reason people looked at Wiggins, you because via the Warriors system and feeling like you could put anybody in there and they could still do what they do. It was like disingenuous. They was like, well, we'll give you this, MVP. We understand Wiggins' impact to this team, but we'll give it to you because finally you were the best, player in the series and all this other stuff. And without you, they wouldn't have won. I think it's disingenuous. So it's cool that Iguodala won, a Finals MVP, which I think he deserved. But I think it's like a double-edged sword. And people are consistent.
Before you go any further, Purple Baby, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you remember what your take was about a year ago about the Boston Celtics?
Yeah.
What was it?
That I don't like to say getting it done, but I did feel like they couldn't play together. That they had outgrown each other and they would be better apart.
Yeah. And
that's what's up. I remember that. She said it just like how she said it too. That's crazy.
Yeah, I appreciate that honesty because me and Ted didn't listen to it, but I ain't gonna go there. But you're not the only one who said some things on flight, including me, including Ted, including a whole lot of guys, about a lot of things. And like Ted mentioned earlier about some of where the positions where these teams are now and what our opinions were maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. Including one was big to all of us, and that was Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of us liked Cat. We never was in love with the young talent, and I never bashed Shea Gildress, but we had a couple of people that said that he should have left to go to a different place because he's not going to ever win there. But then you look at Oklahoma City this year, and everybody think they up and coming, and which they were. They had the best record in the West, didn't they? But that's not a championship, including Denver. Purple, I'm gonna remind you of something, and what you really said, and I appreciate you for this one. You gave Denver their props the year before they won that championship because their players were coming back, and a lot of people didn't agree with you. I was on that panel that day, and Dex was the only one that picked Denver to win that championship that year. Because you remember I used to do those little takes where I would ask us all, well, who's going to be here? Who's going to be? Well, okay. And then at the end, I said, oh, so who you think going to be in the final? Who should win? And Dex was real solid on Denver. I was halfway solid with Denver, but I was worried about their health. So I go back to a lot of things. I do that intentionally to see where my knowledge was, where the teams were at that time and where they are now, including Brooklyn, when Brooklyn had all of them players, and Kyrie. And I want to go to Kyrie because of this, guys. Here's a guy that, first of all, Laker fans were dying for, and we all know it. We know Dex went crazy trying to get it. Well, now he gets with Luka. First year, they didn't do well last year, guys. I want y'all to realize. I know y'all should know it, but they didn't do well. Well, they came in, and a lot of people say they didn't deserve to be in the finals. First of all, it's the question I got for you guys. Did Dallas deserve to be in the finals this year? Were they the best team in the West?
No. From a record standpoint, no.
From a record standpoint?
No. I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to go with talent. I'm just gonna have to go with overall team.
No.
So what I'm saying is this: Dallas got, in my opinion of Dallas, and this is what I honestly believe. I believe when Minnesota beat Denver, it put Dallas in the finals. Dallas would not have beat Denver, but they were going to beat Minnesota. I said they're going to beat Minnesota.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't pick them against Boston. I'm not a Dallas fan. I'm not a Boston fan. But I always said that Boston had the better team, simply because they had one extra guy. And I wasn't even including Chris Porzingis at the time. I was just including the two top stars, which were Luka and Kyrie, and Jason and Jalen. But we kept not mentioning Drew Holiday. And not necessarily not mentioning it, but not necessarily keeping them in an equation enough to get them over the hump. And then I can go back to the Boston teams that lost when they had Marcus Smart. And I want to ask you guys this question. Was that Marcus Smart team that much worse than this year's Boston team?
Mm,
Now remember, they had Time Lord. They had Time Lord.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think from an offensive standpoint, I was much impressed with Porzingis' defense, by the way. But I think
Wow.
I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Like, is that what they were missing in a way? Just some younger legs to be productive like that from an offensive standpoint? Because I would say like Horford was good, shooting and stuff. But I did feel like, okay, like they need somebody else in the middle and stuff like that. So I think
So Ted, what you say about that? Was that smart team that much lesser than this year's Boston team?
Oh, that's a tough question, bro. I don't know who's the better defender to you, Marcus Smart or Drew Holiday.
Well, as far as defending, I think they pretty close, but I think command and running the team, Drew Holiday outdoes him 50-1.
Okay, well, there goes the answer.
And the reason I bring that up because I'm leading to this. Now they just won a championship. Now, can their coach go to Detroit and turn that team around? Or will he be fired in 1 year?
No.
Which coach?
Joe Mazzulla.
Bucks' coach.
Hey. First of all, I mean, no shade on Joe Mazzulla, but he didn't take over a crappy freaking squad, bro.
That's what I was telling you.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
that's number one. And just remember, like, people keep forgetting the history of this team because just remember who was it? Danny Ainge, and then who did he bring in? I forgot his name. It's just slipping my mind, but he's in the front office right now. The coach that used to coach Brad Stevens. You understand? So you got to understand when you're coming from a pedigree of Danny Ainge after all he done with them Celtics, and then he trusted Brad Stevens. I mean, did y'all forget the process of getting Brad Stevens in? And then Brad Stevens had this team in the playoffs, nearly winning the championship. You understand? And then Brad just decided to say, you know what, F this, I'm going up top. And look what he brought in. And that's
messed up Doka.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm so thank you. I'm apologizing, but even Udoka, look what Udoka did when he brought him in. So actually, I think who you need to give credit to is actually Brad Stevens for these coaching picks.
And Danny Ainge, exactly.
Because they didn't skip a beat ever since Danny Ainge left. People failed to realize this. This is a championship that's been in the making for them. They kept running into bulldozers the whole time. They had it easy this time. You understand? They ain't had no paint presence to deal with. You understand? And at the end of the day, they dominated on the defensive end. So they earned. I mean, look, man.
And they have two young athletic wings.
Yeah, there you go.
I want to address what Drew says in the chat. Salute to you too, my brother. He writes, "This is Anthony Edwards' league now. Best young star in the NBA, and he got ranked top 5 in the NBA. Is that true?"
Whatever with Anthony Edwards. Look, I love Anthony Edwards, but I'm a realist, all right? Anthony Edwards failed us, all right? He failed me, okay? Look, listen to me, okay? If you could go to Denver and play in the Mile High City, okay, how do you come back and say you're tired now that you're playing against the Mavs, bro?
Just...
I mean, make it make sense.
Did he have too much on his plate? Did he have too much on his plate?
No, there's nothing too much on your plate, bro. He failed. That's all he did, bro. He choked. That's a choke job. I don't care what nobody tell me. In my opinion, and the dude choked. He choked.
I disagree. I disagree. The reason. 1 second, I'm gonna let you go because I gotta go in the kitchen. I disagree, and I'm gonna tell you why. I disagree because he's young. I disagree because Tatum did the same thing. I disagree because Jaylen Brown did the same thing when they were younger. They lost.
I like how you did that. That was nice. I like that.
They got the same rhetoric that you giving to him right now. Jason Tatum's still getting it. He's still getting it, and he finally got over the hump. I think in Edwards' case, Give him 2 years. Give him a year, maybe 3. Then we
All
talk
right.
about it. Right now, I think he was over his head. I think the moment was a little bit. His eyes were bright.
It
I
was
think
too big
might
for
have
him.
been, it might even been too much for him. So I'm
All
gonna
right,
let you.
I'm gonna warm up to that statement that you just made because you took my own argument and hit me with it. I love it when people could do things like that. That means they listening. But anyway, I mean, but the only reason why I knock him though, bro, you don't get that far, and then I don't know, bro. It's like, how do you get that far? You're one step away, bro. Just keep that same attitude, that same dog mentality, and just keep on going, bro.
But
I,
to me, he did. It was about the other people on his team.
Nah,
The
man.
team,
He
not
didn't look at his numbers. He didn't put up the numbers he was putting up prior. You understand? He was acting like they was making it. I mean, dude, you got Luka. He was scared to go against Luka. Okay, let me put it to you like this. Ever since he made that stupid comment, you understand? Talking about, and I got Kyrie next. Let's see what I could do. Ever since that. And when he said that and I heard it, I even said it to myself, like, bro, you not even guarding you're supposed to be guarding Luka. Why are you calling Kyrie's name, bro? And that alone showed me that he didn't have the heart to go do what he got to do. Because if anything, you would have said, I got Luka next. Let me see what I could do. You called out Kyrie. That ain't your man. Kyrie beat you at any time, bro. You ain't got the feet for him. Let's keep it 100. And
All right, let me ask you this. Let me say this. Have Minnesota's coach got by easy? He gets
No.
blamed for this?
No, okay. They had a damn good season though.
This is on the players.
Yeah, the
So you
players
don't think
failed
you
them,
got,
bro.
wait, you guys don't think Jason Kidd outcoached him?
Come on, bro. And then Missoula
Not
comes
to
in, out
me.
coach Jason Kidd. Really?
No. I think Boston just had the better team. I think the Minnesota Dallas matchup was almost even.
Well, actually, no. Let me back that up a little bit because I think you are right. Actually, yeah, because he was supposed to sit Gobert and not let Gobert sit out on the island and get cooked
He
2
did a
games in a
couple of
row.
things.
2 games in a row, bro. Bench this man, bro. I don't care how much you paying him.
You're right.
I'm just telling you, I think the coach in Minnesota has been getting by a whole lot easier, and Anthony Edwards and the other players been taking all the heat.
But Cat, like, come on,
Nah.
Cat, bro.
He said Luka's 6'10". Hey, all right, God funny.
All right, now wait a minute. Now, Purple. I didn't mean to get you on Cat because I know you can ride him. I mean, you can just roast him, but he did not have a good series. Now, and that's the question I got for you guys, I guess. So, what do you do with Cat? You supposed to get rid of him, get somebody else, and if you get rid of him, who you bringing in that's gonna make this team?
Like the same thing I said earlier. It ain't a trade with Randall. It ain't a trade you can do this year for another. Like you gotta wait. You gotta stick it out. Unfortunately,
Ain't no trading Cat. That team that they have is the team to beat. That's the blueprint that needs to be beaten. That's what
I think they're missing one piece there.
Say it again.
What you say?
I think they're missing one piece.
I mean, to me, they good. To me,
go
ahead. Nah, go ahead. Let her cook, man.
And the reason I say that is this: what's that bench? What's that guy coming off the bench? Who scored that whole bunch of? I forgot his name on the team. Let me look it up. But he's not
Alexander Walker.
Yeah, Walker. If he does not get his, they don't win.
Nah, they good, man. I think Minnesota is in a positive position because there's only so many moves that you can make without depleting your team. You understand? And the NBA is in a position right now where when you really think about it, good players are scarce. You understand? Star players are scarce. You have your star players who are who they are, but because the draft is so weak this year, you understand, it is gonna affect free agency. You understand? Because something that you can get out the draft, you now have to look for it somewhere else. So a lot of teams are not gonna be making any moves.
Yeah.
You understand?
Okay, Rap Guard writes the T-Wolves are missing a point guard. And if that's the case, Rap Guard, put in the chat who you think will take that team over the top as a point guard. And you can't say Drew Holiday because he ain't going no damn well from Boston. And I'm thinking of that too. Now, I guess a point guard could help him, but I see him in a small forward or position where they can. That's where they need more help.
Nah, If it's gonna be a wing, it got to be a shooter. You can't. I mean, unless you're talking about a player off the bench. But Anthony Edwards, he is the team, so you gotta. If not, you start. You know what you're gonna create the same situation like the Celtics, where you got these two wing players. You know what I'm saying? Then y'all gonna start saying which one is better than the other. Da 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 da. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
What do you want,
Okay.
man?
No,
All right.
I said
All right. What about Paul George on Minnesota?
no, hell no,
No, hell no.
absolutely not. To the
What is, he
highest
can't
level.
play no defense.
No, absolutely.
I gotta ask you both of y'all, why not? Because of defense?
No,
For what?
Paul George is just he's a shell of himself now. Like I understand your injuries.
Paul
and-
George is a placeholder.
Yeah, he's a shell.
Paul George would bring a bunch of attention and take it off of Edwards.
No,
You don't believe that?
no, he wouldn't. No,
Okay.
he wouldn't. No, he would not. He can't
Y'all
even
know,
do it.
you guys know he might not be on the Clippers next year, right?
Absolutely, but Minnesota ain't where he should be.
So where you see him fitting? Nowhere?
This is a lazy team to choose, but only team
He's a lazy player though.
going to is Philly. Like I don't see him nowhere else.
Where you see him, Ted?
Paul George, I don't know, but Paul George is one of them dudes. To me, I mean, he don't affect the game like he used to. So, I mean, is he a number one? Just put it like
Hell
that.
no.
He's not a number one anymore.
Absolutely not. Hell no. No.
Wait a minute, guys. I'm asking you a question for a need of a team. And I think his leadership, his being the veteran he is, will help that team tremendously. Now, you didn't see players, including some of the players on the Celtics right now, that changed their game when they got on a winning squad. Now, I'm not saying the Clippers wasn't a winning squad. Now, the chemistry out there in LA with the Clippers, I don't know where that went, and then the injury things with Kawhi and everything. But I still think that Paul George can be a key factor to a championship team, simply because he's going to draw heavy attention. He's going to he's going to always. You got to account for him, and that to me was the last thing that Minnesota was missing behind Edwards. There was nobody, and that's where Purple Baby come in at. She didn't have no confidence in Cat, and that was their number two. They had nobody that still fear in the opponent's heart besides Edwards. Now, Dallas had two. Boston had two players. Most championship teams have at least two. Jordan and Pippen, Shaq and Kobe. They usually have two. Edwards does not. And now I'm not getting on Towns. But for that team to be as well put together and championship ready, they need a solid player. I don't even care if he's if he's Paul George. I don't. I believe Paul George commands a lot of attention. You can say what you want about him, guys, but I believe he demands a lot of attention. I think that kind of player. Now I do see one more in this league that will fit, and I felt that will fit, and that would be Brandon Ingram. I think he would fit.
If he was a better 3-point shooter, maybe.
But he's going to draw that attention. You need to get and just like Ted mentioned earlier what he said, how can you be tired, Edwards? Well, because I'm the main man and everybody double teaming me. I'm trying to do this. How about a little help over here?
But the thing about
you cooking
that you missing, and this is going to be a key for both Brandon Ingram and George, they are extremely unhealthy. And at this point, I like Brandon Ingram a lot, but I must admit, him and Paul George at this point, Brandon Ingram much so because of how healthy he is. But I look at both of those guys at this point as being really solid third or even fourth options, depending on the makeup of the team. So when you saying like Paul George to Minnesota, it's just like I view him like Cat, like a guy that can help you win and be impactful, but when he's off, he's off. And like Ted said, he's not the defender that he used to be.
Okay, now Towns ain't no hellified defender, so you're not going to lose much there.
Yeah,
But
right.
I'm thinking like this: Is there a way? Is there a way for Minnesota to add that wing without giving up Towns?
Yeah, of course. Like Miles Bridges, I don't like that fit either.
That's what I was going to say
Kuzma,
about why are you guys so high on Miles Bridges? I'm lost on that.
No, let me keep going, and I'll circle back. Kyle Kuzma, like and I was telling what's the name is I can't think of his name. Sky. I like
Mhm.
Kyle Kuzma for this team because I just like I think they have the perimeter. They need it in one player, but they're not gonna find that one player to me personally this offseason. So they have to look for the score. And I think Minnesota should go after Kyle Kuzma. I think that's the best fit for them. He gives them
I like Kuzma too. I do like Kuzma.
rebounding and stuff like that.
Yeah. I want to hear from Ted too, because I mean to fix Minnesota, and they're not broken.
Yo, I was about to say, what are we fixing, bro?
They're not broken,
Yeah.
but to get them to the next level, you got now. Like I said, I don't know who that was who put it in the chat. They said that point guard. I don't know about it. I don't see that moving the needle too. Not unless you get a terrific point guard. Go ahead.
I'll be honest with you. I'll take the point guard over that wing that you're talking about because that was part of the problem. Like at the end of the day, like you need somebody to run the offense.
Yeah.
All right, so you don't think the point guard that they had this year did an adequate job? Obviously.
It's just that he's older. That's what I seen, and he's not big enough.
Well,
right,
not only that, it's like he's not a I don't want to say quintessential point guard, but he's actually not a pass first point guard. That's the problem.
Well, when he got to Minnesota, Conley was a pass first point guard at Minnesota. Yes, he was.
No, what I'm saying is that's not his initial game. I ain't saying he can't do it, but that's not him.
All right, and also last question about Minnesota. Have you guys looked at their bench?
Yeah.
They don't have a bench, basically.
Yeah, but look. First of all, let me put some brakes on something. All right, Minnesota is an overachieving team. So what you're looking for, you still have years to accomplish. You understand?
Absolutely.
They I think it was just last year that they got rid of this dude and sent him to LA, right?
Yeah, but Ted, I'm gonna go back to it. Wait a minute, Ted, hold on, because you just said that Anthony Edwards was choked, but they were overachieving, huh?
Yeah, but that's me. That's like I told you. That was personal. I love Anthony Edwards. He pissed me off. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because I mean, all right, just put it like this. I'm not gonna lie. If I really got to be 100% honest, you know what I mean. And then shout out to Dex. You know, I was running with the Michael Jordan thing. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see something.
I wasn't. That's some crazy.
Nah, it was far fetched for me. But if he had gotten there, you know what I'm saying, you would have seen some miraculous shit. I mean, who don't want to see some MJ in the league at least one more time before they die, bro?
I can definitely tell you this. I knew they were not, even if they'd have beat Dallas. No, they
but he was looking good though. Stop playing with it, bro. They took out the defending champs.
You know the narrative that I don't like.
And then they went and lost to Dallas, bro. Off of the freaking fact that this dude wouldn't take Gobert out the game. That's it. They would have. There's 2 games in a row he did that. You understand? Those are 2 vital games that they lost, bro.
And I think for the record, unlike Anthony Davis, Cat needs to move back to the center position because Lord Jesus, like
what?
Yes.
So where you gonna play Rudy? You gonna play Rudy at power forward?
I would trade Rudy.
Rudy is stretched now.
Nah, they can't. Just gave up the house for Rudy. You can't trade him now. Come on.
You can't trade Rudy.
You can't trade him. What you talking about? Like,
wait, I'm gonna tell you why you can't trade him because ain't nobody gonna take it.
Let me ask you a question though. Who just won the past 2 championships prior to the Celtics? Who won?
Denver,
Milwaukee, somebody who
and Golden State.
Golden State, yeah. Milwaukee and Golden State.
Yeah, it was
no. Is Milwaukee Golden State then?
It was
Denver.
No, it was.
Okay, that's right, Denver. Yeah, Denver. So it was Milwaukee and Denver. Denver last year, Milwaukee before that.
No, it wasn't. It was Golden State.
Milwaukee won it 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know. I don't know exactly.
But
I don't know. Exactly.
What's the name one after them? Golden State.
And what was that question for, though, Ted?
No, because what I'm saying is, you know, the NBA is a copycat league. You understand? Nah, she's right. Golden State won it against Boston. So 21 was Milwaukee, 22 was Golden State. Anyway,
but hold up. Remember who you said they won it against? Who?
Boston.
So sometimes it takes a little while to get there and get it done.
You ain't telling me nothing. I'm just saying in general. Like, well, to my point, that's a whole nother debate. But what I'm just trying to say is it's a copycat league, and at the end of the day, the Denver Nuggets, because they made Minnesota to really replicate the Denver Nuggets. Now, I guess the question that I have is that since the NBA is a copycat league, what are you guys saying, that everybody's going to be trying to build a team like the Celtics now? Because I mean, everybody was trying to build a team like Denver. That's how you got Minnesota.
I don't know about that. I'm gonna go on mute for a second. I got a call coming in.
Okay,
no problem.
I don't see people replicating Denver. I just think Minnesota did that because if I remember correctly, I don't even think. Matter of fact, Anthony Edwards wasn't even there when they traded for Gobert. I forgot. Oops. Let him introduce himself, Ted.
No doubt.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Flight Sports TV, the machine, the voice of the voiceless, the people's champ, the hottest in the street. Shout out to the panel as it reaches its premium peak. Shout out to the chat and all of its cacophony and the trauma that is brewing. The NBA season is officially over and free agency has begun. Let the trauma begin. Unleash yourself. Just be bizarre. It's all good, baby. And let me tell you, big ups to everybody pulling up the Flight Sports TV to enjoy this festive few days after Father's Day. And listen, man, we got Purple Baby. We got Marvin from the perspective from the other side. And we got the none other than notorious Talented TV, New York finest. Listen, Talented is doing big things with the WNBA. Please support if you into that.
Yeah.
Purple Baby with her outstanding tape, and Marvin from the perspective of the other side with his grueling gauntlet of control and dictation on Flight Sports TV, and we love it all. It's a combination of organized chaos, and yes, salute to everybody. Hit that like button, hit that PayPal, hit that Cash App, hit that super chat, and it's going to be on and cracking. And listen, we got a whole lot coming up, Flight Sports TV. We are doing big things, baby. And listen, the last one that won the championship prior to Boston was Denver and Golden State. Golden State first, then Denver, and now Boston.
Yeah. And I want to stop you 1 second, Dick, because I know you got on the panel because you heard me tell these guys that you picked Denver to win the championship, but I didn't want you to hear that. I thought you were asleep. But I want to say kudos to you about that, because you had mentioned that. Me and Ted actually went back and listened to that, and we were not necessarily astonished, but it was a good take. Also, I want to ask you a question, because I seen it in the chat that you wrote about Paul George. You called him a plug and play player. He can fit anywhere. How would he fit on Minnesota?
Paul George can fit on Minnesota, but his role would definitely have to be reduced. He would have to understand that he has to be reduced to Anthony Edwards, as Anthony Edwards is the face of that franchise now. We saw an ultimate collapse and crumble with Rudy Gobert and Big Cat, a player that I thought would be more impactful for the Minnesota Timberwolves going into the extended season. And Purple Baby was right. Big Cat, he's softer than wet tissue. He was very disappointing. He's an all-star in regular season. He's an all-star in regular season. But once it comes past 82 games, it just seems that Big Cat falls and cave in under inspection.
Wow. And before you go any further, I just want to address Rap God's comment that he has in the chat, and this is directed towards you, Dex. Celtics crushed Dex' soul. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes, most definitely. I was releasing some trauma in the introduction, and thank you guys for bearing with me. They got to 18 first, and I'm devastated because the Lakers had an opportunity to get there before them, and they end up getting swept by the eventual champions, the Denver Nuggets. So,
Wow.
big up to Boston. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not mad, but I'm crushed. And Rap God pinned it perfectly. Yes, that did. I mean, Boston Celtics have snatched my soul as of now.
And
Hey,
last,
Boston, look at
and last but not
19.
least,
Let's see ruining
before you go, Purple. Last but not least, Mo writes, LeBron has destroyed my Lakers.
No, I think the
Well,
good.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go as far as saying LeBron has destroyed the Lakers. What I will go as far as says Jeannie Buss has destroyed the Lakers and Rob Pelinka. Those two combinations with the add-on of a so-called fulcrum of the Rambuses, Linda and Kirk, have just decimated the Lakers because I don't believe they're doing their due diligence. And I just think LeBron just finally got wind, like, wait a minute, man, why I'm building these people franchise and they not giving me what I want, or giving me what I need as no, yeah, they're not.
Thank
They're
you
not.
for saying that.
No, they're not. They're not. They're not. I mean, the media is going on LeBron because the lily whiteness of the Los Angeles Lakers and the stoic franchise that they are, left with the legacy of Jerry Buss. But his kids have destroyed the Lakers. And before Jerry was them, it was fucking Jerry Buss. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
can you elaborate on how they have these people have destroyed the Lakers?
Because they're out there in La La Land. You see, you guys don't know this, but they're just some party hippies, man. These motherfuckers are some party hippies, and they just think the Lakers is so much of a machine
Damn.
by itself. And everybody
You break it up. You break it up. You break it up. You break it up.
That's because half of Laker Nation is disagreeing with him.
Oh, that's why you break it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, that's because he in La La Land.
Oh, damn. There you
Literally.
go.
What about
Come on,
I'm happy with her.
we going for number 19 on them. And then 20 after that.
Hey,
So
did
we
I hear we?
shut up.
yeah, we
Okay. Yeah,
we-
you still break it up. You still break it up. You still break it up pretty bad. Jay. Before he gets back, let's do this question that Rap God has to us, and I'm not getting off the subject, but we want to address with the panel. We want to keep them involved in this.
Dex
He
was
has a
cooking
question,
though.
he has a question for the panel, and that question is:
Ooh, I
Is
can-
LaMelo a franchise player? Does he have the alpha personality to carry a team?
That's easy. But Ted, you can go first.
Nah, I don't know. I mean, he a point guard. I don't know about carrying the team as a point guard. I mean, that
Does
ain't
he have
really-
an alpha personality?
who LaMelo
Yeah.
when necessary.
Mm.
All right. Would you start your team off with him at point?
Hell yeah, you damn
Well,
right.
That means
Mike
that
said-
means-
You imagine, hey, you imagine Melo with Anthony. With
That's why-
Anthony
okay,
Edwards.
so
Oh
you
my
answer
god,
the question. He is all of that and above. Obviously,
that's a
Mike
point
check.
guard.
Is I'm good yet?
you still breaking up a little bit, Dex, but we can hear you. But you just in and out. Maybe did you check out and check back in?
Okay, I'll do that.
Now
I'm good.
you sound good. Hell,
Okay, I think I'm good now. I think I'm good. I think I'm up. I'm out of the haze. Yeah.
okay.
So
Back to you, Dex. Back to the Lakers. Go ahead.
the reason why, let me break this down real quick. The reason why it's not LeBron's fault because LeBron brought a whole sack of eyes on the Lakers, right? So that in itself has improved the Lakers financially to the degree. LeBron did bring a championship. Yeah, albeit it was a bubble, Disneyland and Mickey Mouse ears. But it's still none other than a championship. That's why the Lakers are stuck at 17, based on what LeBron and Anthony Davis done in that bubble run. Since the bubble run, they made a cardinal sin when it comes to running a championship tenured organization. This is what these dumb motherfuckers did. Genie Bus and Company.
Wow.
They broke the team up the very next season. You don't do that.
Hey.
Plan on the budget. They was already on the shoestring budget, and they accepted it. The Rondos, the Alex Caruso, the Dwight Howard, the JaVale McGee's. These are all budget players, and they traded them. KCP. I mean, who does that? You keep a champion. No, hell, you think he's going to trade KCP? KCP is his client. That's a clutch client. You think they wanted him off the Lakers? Come on, man. Because they didn't want. I'm telling you what happened. They didn't want. There was a little racism involved, and I hate to say that about Jean because of her dad. But there was a little racism involved because they didn't want the power to lie on LeBron James. Only media, only through the media, but not through principle and practicality. They didn't want LeBron to have the power. This is why Ty Lue wasn't the coach to coach LeBron. It was the perfect coach to coach LeBron because he's not dealing with LeBron bullshit. He will call LeBron to the forefront and make him accountable, regardless if it's uncomfortable for LeBron or not. So the only thing they wanted was LeBron in presence, but not LeBron in thought and input, like they did Magic, just made him a figurehead. With all the luster and lore and iconism of Magic Johnson, they just only wanted him to be a figurehead. But when the daddy was alive, when Big JB was alive, he made Magic so intricate into the team fabric that he allowed Magic to buy into ownership.
Okay, all right. Don't go no further because I think that's MD, not Mo, or is it Mo? It might be Mo, whatever. The reason his first statement was LeBron has destroyed my Lakers, and the reason he says this is he wrote this. He only said it because coaches get fired whenever LeBron fails to lead the team to a ring. Is that true?
Well, on the surface, yes. On the surface, yes. But remember now, none of the coaches that the Lakers hired since LeBron tenure as purple and gold has been the coach of LeBron Desire. The coach of LeBron Desire was a championship coach, already just tried and proven, in Ty Lue, and they had a respectable and lovable chemistry. They didn't want that. Like I told you, they didn't want LeBron to be too powerful in the organization and catching, catching a grip on things, while they would have to basically succumb to LeBron total power, right, and dictation. So they didn't want that. And this is what these people do. They will not give you everything. They'll give you something, but it'll make it appear that you got everything. And this is why the Lakers are spiraling in the wrong direction. They caught lightning in the bottle last season under Darvin Ham in the second half of the season when Rob Pelinka did something for a change. When he made those trades, he got out of Westbrook contract was a miracle in itself. But Lakers do that all the time. That's nothing new to Lakerland, making miracles happen. But once you make the miracle happen, you got to finish the job. Like Kobe said, job ain't done yet. You have to finish the job because you fucked up when you traded away a championship team and didn't run it back automatically. Automatically, you're supposed to run a championship team back. That's basketball organization 101. And they ultimately made a cardinal sin there.
Dex,
Okay.
did you say?
Stop. I'm sorry. I just got to stop because I want to ask Purple Baby. I want to ask Purple Baby a question. I want her to have her take on this Laker organization, and then I'm going to ask Ted. So first of all, Purple. Now I know how you feel about the Lakers, and we've all heard how you feel about the Lakers, and you are listening to Dex. Can you give me your take on how you feel about what Dex is talking about, please?
I feel like it's both parties. I do. We're not gonna sit here and act like LeBron ain't, putting his 2 cents in because he is the best player, on whatever team he's been on. We not about to do that. So of course, I think to trade KCP, I think that was to stick the middle finger to LeBron. But I wanted, because I'm tired of people saying this, like we acting like the Lakers was gonna suddenly be like Golden State and just dominate out west. We're not acknowledging that like teams got better, players improved, certain teams made adjustment, traded players. That's the name of the game. Now, should they have traded the whole team? Absolutely not. They should have kept Alex Caruso, sorry. If DeMar DeRozan, whatever the mix-up was there, whoever's lying, because somebody lying, as far as the years and whatever, like maybe I don't think it would have worked out like people thought it would have, but like it's nauseating. LeBron was on TV talking about who cares about a pick, trade it. Like you realize they don't have like, oh my God, like they draft pick situation is absolutely horrible. Understand, wow. Jeannie at the end of the day is in this mess because she said she panicked and said she needed to make money after Kobe. Although that team was young, the fan base has an expectation of winning, and she wanted to still hold that standard of Lakers winning and being in the finals and stuff like that. And we just dealing with the blowback that we see.
And that's a great take. Now, Ted, I want to come to you, but before I do, I want to run back both of those comments that you just heard. You heard one side of the fence with Dex, more or less on ownership and higher brass having a lot to do with this situation, maybe spiraling out of control. And then you heard another take from Purple on half and half. And we all know about LeBron. So I wanted to end with you because I wanted to ask you your take on how you feel that organization, first of all, was run, if it was run properly, or did they let LeBron ruin this team?
Oh, hold on, though. Is Unstoppable in here? Because he was backstage.
Oh, yeah, because I called him. He said he was going to come home. So,
yeah, I'm here.
All right. Awesome.
Go ahead. Ted.
Yo, Marvin, you know how to set me up, bro. Yo, this nigga Marvin crazy for that. But anyway, I'm not even gonna speak on the Lakers too much, bro. I'm with Dex on the Lakers, man. Don't the only place me and him separate at is who we put the blame on. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the Lakers are who they are. They're gonna be coached by JJ Redick this year. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're gonna make the news. They're gonna make all the money, and
right.
That's all it. Right. While Celtics getting the chips and they getting the money.
Okay, and I'm gonna get a final take on this, Dex, and then I'll let you go again. And I'm gonna tell you how I feel about the Lakers, and I felt about this from the very beginning when they first got LeBron James. First of all, when you get a player that's making the money like LeBron James, then you can. I understand you're. Let me finish, Dex. I know you know what I'm finna say. I understand you had the perfect players to fit that organization as far as salary rise when you had Caruso and whatnot and those other guys. Yes, you did. And it was a mistake to get rid of those guys because, the old saying, you don't fix nothing that ain't broke. So why would you get rid of them? But LeBron, since then, has not once agreed to take a lower salary to better the team. Let me finish. Second, LeBron, he cries, he whines a lot, and sometimes he's out of control. He's not. All players do it. I mean, we just seen Luka. He did more crying laying on the damn floor than he did playing in this last series. Now I like Luka, but I'm telling you, he cries too goddamn much. Also, if the Lakers are going to spend that kind of money on one player, your expectations should not be so high. I don't give a damn if it's the Lakers, the Celtics, the Bulls, or whoever. If Jordan was making that kind of money when we had him, the Bulls would not have won all those championships because we wouldn't have had the team that we had because we wouldn't have been able to pay the guys. Now, you had a hell of a mix. You're right. When you had Caruso and the guys. And you won them. I don't care. I ain't never doubted no bubble. Listen, those rings are exact same as the ones they got this year. It don't make no difference, hubble bubble. But I'm going to say this. If the Lakers are serious about getting back to the promised land. Somebody, and when I say somebody, I mean LeBron. Somebody got to step back off of that salary a little bit. Because if you step back off of that salary a little bit, then and a lot, mostly all the players want to come, but they don't want to come for peanuts. You got players that would love to play with the Lakers, including Zach LaVine. Can you fit Zach LaVine on your team?
No, Zach, listen, you're missing a point. LeBron deserved every inkling of a cent that is afforded him, first of all. Because the Lakers not going down on the damn price of the mission. Is the Lakers going down on the price of admission?
No, they're not.
Okay, then so why should LeBron have to go down on this price for his attraction?
Only because it's so lopsided. Continue.
No, because that's the front office problem. They got to fix that. That's not LeBron's problem. LeBron is giving them action at players. But since they want to play hard nose, okay, fuck it. Ain't no clutch players coming. Look at the roster. You know how many clutch players have been available since LeBron been there? And if they would have played ball with LeBron, they probably could have got a Tyrese Maxey. They probably could have got a Ben Simmons when he was healthy. They probably could have got Alonzo Ball back again. Remember, they was fishing for Alonzo before they got Russell Westbrook. And somehow that shit just went south. So it wasn't no Lonzo that it went south. It wasn't no clutch it went south. So it had to be something to do with the Lakers organization to make these go south. Now they're fishing for Trae Young. I doubt if Trae Young come there. Now Trae Young, it could be a possibility if JJ Redick's the coach because he gonna come in on a low ball. JJ Redick gonna take whatever the Lakers is willing to give him. So they might fish for Trae Young. But outside of that, I don't know what to tell you about that organization, man. It's just bad. Trust me.
Trae Young go to the Lakers, his career is over. I said it.
Well, I say this too, and I agree with you there too. I say this, Dex, and we can go on to another team after this if you guys don't mind, because if not, we're gonna be on the Lakers forever. But I say this, Dex, kudos to your team. Listen, you guys you do have Anthony Davis. Now you do have him. But I say to you in final question, and I guess all you guys can answer this. You tell me, Dex, what fixes the Lakers? All right.
A complete overhaul.
My bad.
I'm going to go each one of you guys one at a time. My question to you is this, Dex. Tell me what.
That's the easy fix.
I'm sorry?
That's the easy fix. The Lakers is the easy fix. The Lakers is not a hard team to attract some of the top talent, right? Because there's so much money floating around outside of basketball. So if you ever become a Laker, you could be set for life. You could be like the Byron Scott, the Worthies. You know what I'm saying? You could just be set for life. And not even the Worthies, you can be the Michael Thompsons of the world. You know what I'm saying? It depends on how you play your cards.
So I ask you again. What fixes? You deal with a new front office or you deal with new players? Tell me.
No, you got to deal with a new front office, and Jeannie Buss needs to sell the team to somebody that's competent to run the team. Because see, let me tell you about the Lakers. That a lot of people overlook. Yeah, they're a wealthy franchise. Yeah, they're the top 3 wealthy franchise in the NBA, right? Golden State, New York, Los Angeles Lakers. That's the chronological order. But the difference between Golden State and New York, those rich franchise, is that they are not the primary business of the owners.
What's wrong with the Lakers?
The Lakers that's their primary business. If the Lakers don't make any money, the family don't make any money. They don't have no business outside of the Lakers that brings in untold millions of dollars, because it's still a family-owned organization. You understand what I'm saying? It's not a corporate-owned organization.
Dex. Could I ask you this question? I'm sorry to interrupt, but I gotta ask this question. With what you're saying right now, right? Is it possible that LeBron could be trying to break the Lakers so he could buy them when he leaves? No. LeBron would never own the Lakers. He would never. We got to act at Las Vegas, but yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So Jeannie Buss and her cronies
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, yeah,
Go
we
ahead.
hear you.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to
Genie,
figure
yeah,
out what's
Genie.
wrong.
Yes, I'm trying to explain it to the best of my ability by having boots on the ground. Genie Bus, in my assessment of the ownership of the Lakers, she's running it like a mom and pop shop. They're being extra careful on how they run the Lakers because, like I said, that is their primary form of income for that
Yeah,
family. Remember
I was.
when the doctor had it, you know, he was in the real estate. He was a high profile dentist and things of that nature. So he had other affluent businesses besides
Yeah,
the Lakers when he was running the Lakers. So the
and
Lakers was a hobby to him, like it was to Jack Kent Cook, the owner before him, or like some of these other owners in the league who have made money outside of basketball.
yes, and I agree with that
Genie,
totally.
yeah, Genie is making money inside of basketball. It ain't outside of basketball. Everything is the Lakers. Whatever the Lakers make, that's what the family makes. So that's why the scruples on running the Lakers appears to be unscrupulous
Okay, all
based
right.
on her
I
being,
gotta stop you. I gotta stop you because you're gonna be on them all day. Purple.
Right.
Give me, give me your
That's
assumption of the
crazy. I
Lakers.
ain't even get to say shit.
Oh no, you coming up? I'm gonna
No,
get purple,
I'm
and then I'm gonna
bullshit.
go
Go
to you.
ahead. No, I'm joking. Go ahead.
Purple. I want your assessment of the Lakers. What fixes them? Front office or personnel?
Oh, they need. I think Jeannie is better in an advertiser role. You know, getting the name of the team out there, and for whatever worldwide success they can have. I think that's the role she needs to go back to and have somebody else handle the basketball operations. But until they get assets that are attracted to other teams, Atlanta ain't got the Lakers ain't got nothing Atlanta want at
To give
all.
back.
They
Don't you say nothing, Dex. Let her finish. Go ahead.
to get Trey Young. That's all I'm gonna say. They
All right,
don't have
and
they can't they couldn't well Miles Bridges is a free agent and so is Brandon Ingram. But
everybody wants that money.
if they chose to sign back to their teams and then get traded, like teams like Charlotte would probably do some dumb stuff and take Austin Reeves and D'Angelo. I'm gonna just let it go. Let the next person go.
Yes. Okay, Dex. I'm sorry, Ted. If you want to get a final take on that, you can. What fixes them?
Nah. Let my boy cook. Go ahead. I'm listening.
All right. No, because I got enough of Dex already. So if you ain't got it, I have no say so in this. I ain't got no dog in it.
Ain't unstoppable up here. Ain't what's the name up here? My fault, y'all. With the background noise.
Who on here? Oh, is Unstoppable here?
Yeah.
What's up? What's up, man?
Well, what to do?
No panic up here too, right? Come on now. Pull them up. Pull them up.
I can't see nobody. What the hell? I don't know how to. Okay, before I go any further, then no panic. Unstoppable. Both of you guys here?
I'm up here.
Wow.
I don't know about no panic.
Okay, Unstoppable. The question that's at hand right now is, and I want a truthful answer from a good Bulls fan. First of all, how you doing, brother? And good to hear from you again.
I'm
Um,
alright, man.
give me your assumption of the Lakers real quick. What fixes them? Front office or personnel?
Both.
Damn. They should move? Is that what you're saying?
Huh?
They should
Marvin, you
move the team
clown. So
out
unstoppable, what is it? The chicken or the egg?
No, I think it starts. I just start with the front office. They have to. I think they need to rebuild because the team that they have right now, not gonna compete with the team that rebuild and got them young cats mixed with veterans.
So
You
you
know,
think they were better off when they won the chip in the bubble with a younger squad, still ran by the same organization. So in Deck's case, I want to just throw that out there because they did win a championship with this organization with this front office in place.
no, I think they're better off keeping the squad they had before they made the trades, but they got a chip out of it. But again, you got these teams that's rebuilding at that time, which I believe was the Nuggets, the Kings, the Golden State, and all of them. Well,
Clippers
no, not Golden
weren't
State,
healthy per
huh?
usual. I said the Clippers weren't healthy per usual. Kyrie wasn't in Dallas. It was a lot going on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you want to continue, or you about done?
I just think they should just rebuild. That's the only thing that's gonna fix it. They ain't gonna be able to compete with these teams now. You
So you
know.
don't believe that front office? You don't believe that shaking up that front office would make a difference?
Uh, no, because if they get the green light to rebuild, then I believe the front office they have now is
But
willing to rebuild. But they
Okay.
got LeBron James, and that's the cash cow right there. So they gonna milk
right,
it until they can't milk it no more.
thank
Okay.
you. Like we did with
You know.
All
Kobe.
right. Dex, don't say nothing. They're giving their own text.
I
Don't say
mean, if
nothing.
Dex want to say something, I'll let him say it. I'll say back to
Next
back.
question.
But I think if if you're a fan of you already know it's about money. Lakers, they organization's about getting that bread and competing too. But still, it's like LeBron is up there in age, and there's only so much he can do. And
Yeah.
Anthony Davis,
Can't stay
he ain't
healthy.
guaranteed to stay healthy. So I just feel like
Okay.
you need to rebuild or make a trade, like you said, maybe like get Zach LaVine in there, but still he ain't gonna get it done by himself.
Yeah.
So
And do
I
they
would
have
just
room on their salary? Do they have room around
yeah,
their
they got
cap
room.
to
They
bring?
got room. They would have to add in Rui in there. Probably they have to add in what's that guy Austin Reeves in there. I think one more player that they can get it done. But
Okay.
I still think that ain't enough. You know what I'm saying? How long you got
If
for
they got
that?
rid of them, if they got rid
Huh?
of them and brought in Zach, I don't think they got enough.
I mean,
No,
I say they probably got 2 or 3 years, and I don't even think they'll get a chip in them 2 or 3 years because again, you got a team like the Kings, they
Yeah.
a piece away. You know,
Well, I'm gonna say this. Let's not keep mentioning the Kings yet. I got some on my sleeve here. I want to talk about them. But Dex, I appreciate you coming on, and every time you come on, Purple Baby gonna give you hell. Uh, uh, Ted is gonna be kind of on the fence about him. I'm not gonna comment on him because you ain't gonna like my comments. And then Unstoppable just gonna tell the damn truth. So I appreciate all that, but I want to change the subject a second, guys. I want to go to two teams, and I want to get you guys' opinion on which one is gonna be closer to a championship than the other. And the two teams are the Oklahoma Thunder and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, I'm gonna start with you, Purple.
Mhm.
Oklahoma Thunder, Minnesota Timberwolves. Who's closer to a championship?
I don't like my answer, but I'm gonna have to say Minnesota.
All right, no elaboration right now. Dex, are you still there? No, I think y'all made him mad. He might have left.
Yes,
Ted,
still
are you
there.
there, Dex?
I'm not mad about anything.
Mercy, this dude here.
Yeah.
Are you
All right.
underwater? All right, get your mic fixed, Dick. I'll come back to you. Ted, who's closer? Oklahoma, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Unstoppable, who's closer? Oklahoma, Minnesota.
you said we're closer to get a chip.
Actually, they're neck and neck, bro. I can't even put one ahead of the other.
You said
What you
who's
say,
closer to get a
Unstoppable?
chip, right?
Yeah, I mean, closer,
Oh
because they
man,
both are
I
in.
don't know, man. Like I said, I would have to because I was thinking maybe they would. They, I say Timberwolves got the slight edge, slight, but it ain't much. It really is not.
And my take on that is Timberwolves also, only because of the veterans that are on the team. Oklahoma's a little younger. It's going to probably take them maybe 1 to 2 more years. But I say this, though. With the
Man,
way Shea Gilders is playing, I wanted to leave Dex for last because I got something to tell him about this. The way Shea is playing, he's already a superstar, I believe. And I think if Giddy can change his game, then that team can be something special. Now, Dex, are you there?
Josh Giddey. Oh man, I don't even think he gonna be back to that team, bro. That's his last year, ain't it?
You know what? I don't know. I'm kind of blown away about Giddy. I don't know if it's last year or not, but I'm blown away about Giddy because I'm thinking he's not being coached properly. Because I see potential in Giddy.
I
As far
see
as
him
his
trade
size,
now, bro.
as far as his ball handling, as far as his recognition on the floor, I think Giddy can be something a little better than he is. Now, I'm not saying that the coach is terribly coaching him, but I just don't think. If you look at his numbers, guys, you look at the numbers that he put up even in the playoffs, you look at his shot attempts, you look at the plays, the way the offensive has been ran. He's never even really, you can't even tell he on the floor with Oklahoma under this coach. But I think under a right coach, they could use him differently. Now, that's just my opinion. Now, Dex, are you there?
Yeah, is the mic check?
Yeah, you better. Give me your assumption on who you think is maybe a little closer than the other between Oklahoma and Minnesota. Now, when you finish, I'm gonna remind you of something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll take Minnesota by far. I think Minnesota's head and shoulders above Oklahoma City when it comes to playing a 7-game series against a foe. So I'm rocking with Minnesota on that one.
And is that just due because Oklahoma is so much younger?
No, I think Minnesota is a better team. Now, uh, Oklahoma City may be a better coach team. Mike Gagno might be a better coach than Chris Finch. But as far as talent wise, on the roster 1 to 15, I just think Minnesota is a better team. They got 3 All Stars and the 6th Man of the Year. So, and a defensive player, uh, was a top 3 defensive player. And Xavier, what's the boy name again over there? Not Xavier, Nazi, right?
Yeah. Okay. And my
So,
assumption on that is this. I say this.
goddamn.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were through. Go ahead.
So when you have a collection of players like that, or Copa, then the, Oklahoma City, you got to remember the only team they beat in the playoff series was the Pelicans. That's it, a
Okay.
wounded Pelicans. And
And then they
prior
lost
to
to
this season, the reason why they won a playing game is because they beat a wounded Pelicans. So 2 years in a row in the extended season, they played the same team, and the same result was a win for Oklahoma City Cardiac Kids, the Thundercats.
Okay. All right. Now, I'm gonna give my assumption on. I'm a little different. I'm a little different simply because I'm not looking at Oklahoma and Minnesota in the same eyes of you guys. I don't think so. I don't think I am. I'm looking at this as has does Minnesota have Rudy Gobert that is on the decline, and does Oklahoma City have homegrown? I mean, the young center they
Okay,
got
hold
on
on,
the
hold on. You call Rudy Gobert on the decline, but he just come off an All-Star.
is it
Now, when he
deserving?
don't make the All-Star, of course, he was the Defensive Player of the Year. What do you mean? So if he doesn't make the All-Star, then I can agree with you. He's on the decline. But as far as
Okay,
regular season, he's an
all
All-Star.
right,
He's a Defensive Player of the Year. Any
okay,
team will
but
want that.
now that's true. But nobody judges players on regular season play. They judge them on playoff play, and more than not, you can hear so many people say that Rudy was the cause of them losing that series against Dallas, and I'm not lying. That's why I
Right.
say
You
that.
want- He's a cog in the system. We agree. You follow what I'm saying? And sometimes he could be a sore eye. But
Yeah.
it doesn't take away that he is the reigning defensive player of the year. He is all defensive defense, right? I mean all
Yeah.
NBA defense,
Yeah.
and he's an all-star. So maybe the coach needs to make some better adjustment when he's on the floor.
Okay. All right. And I'm gonna push back on that because the question I was trying to raise there just a second ago was I think Chet, I think Chet's upside will get him to Rudy's level, and he's younger. And I think when you got Shea and you got Dort and you got these young players on this Oklahoma team experiencing getting a taste, as you just said, they beat one team, but they beat them, and then they lost to a veteran team in Dallas. I think that right there will bring them to another level, not just next year, but years to come. Now, in Minnesota's case, I believe they were almost at their peak this year. I think they played their best ball. I'm pretty sure most of you guys can agree. How much better could they be? Could they get over the top? I've never seen them getting over the top. I think they kind of played at the top of their level when they were in the playoffs this year, and I don't think Oklahoma did. I think they still.
Marvin, check this out. Utah, Denver, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. What do they all have in common in recent years?
Utah.
Yeah, put the Clippers in there. Yeah. Utah, Denver, Clippers. What do they have in common with the Oklahoma City Thunder?
In Utah's case, right now, it's just because they're young. They're young.
I'm saying in recent years, not just last year, just within a 4-year span.
Well, they've been kind of. Well, Minnesota hadn't been tinkling with the playoffs, but I don't know where.
I didn't name Minnesota. Utah, Denver, Clippers, and Oklahoma City. What they all had in common was they was all number 1 seeds at one time, and only one of them sprung out of the chicken nest, and that was Denver. So just because you're a number 1 seed, that don't mean that you're going to propel into the upper echelon of the NBA finals, right? Because Utah was number 1 seed, Clippers been number 1 seed, and Denver been number 1 seed, but Denver is the only one in recent years have taken that number 1 seed into a winning situation and ultimately won it all.
Yeah.
So
and
I'm just saying, don't just put too much emphasis on a number 1 seed.
Oh no, and I wasn't doing that. I was doing that to give you a taste of how young players can get a taste of the playoffs and then get better in the following years to come. Now, in the Clippers' case, I think injuries have a big part in that, and I'm not just throwing it all on injuries. I think injuries did have a part with the Clippers, though, because if you don't have a healthy Kawhi and a healthy George, then you don't have a real qualified championship team with the Clippers. Now, as far as Denver is concerned, they were veterans. Those were veterans that came back that had been in the league, and we all kind of seen, including you, we all kind of seen Denver on the cusp, as we could say. Now, in Oklahoma City's case, in their case, I think they are young. I think you all can agree with this. They're younger than Minnesota. I think they got more upside than Minnesota. And I think if they get maybe, I'm still putting this on Giddey now, and including what Unstoppable said, he might not even be there. Now, can you picture a decent point guard? I mean, another point guard for Oklahoma City. And if they got that, and I'm talking next year, that's a totally different team. That team is totally turned around because Giddey was he was a shell of his. Well, he's never been all that, but he was not nothing that put fear in nobody's heart in the playoffs. And basically, I can say all year. Now, I'm not that low on Giddey. I think he's got a little more upside in him. I think he's still young. Well, I know he's still young, but I think he's got upside in him. I think Oklahoma City has a brighter future. I say this. Okay, I'm gonna put it this way. I bet you Minnesota break that team up before Oklahoma City does. Break theirs up. And then in closing, I'm gonna tell you this. Reason I said that, Dex, is because it was one time, about a year and a half ago, when you, Mr. Dexter, suggested that Shai Gilgeous should not stay in Oklahoma. And that was because you seen the young team. Oh, I don't know. I'm speculating. But I think it was because you seen the young team there, and you didn't see a whole lot of championship aspirations there. But then, as we say, number 1 seeds don't always mean that much. And it didn't, obviously, because they were the number 1 seed and they didn't get there. But I think the learning curve of the young players going to the playoffs, number 1 seed, young players, Chet coming back. First year, actually. Now, we got to remember that. Remember, he was hurt last year. This was his first year playing. I can guarantee you Chet's going to probably be better next year. And I think this process that they're going through, along with Shea being the main man, can really take this team to new heights. Now, I'm not saying they finna win the championship, but I was just comparing those two teams to see which one each one of us felt probably had the more upside or the closest or, more chance of stepping, going a little further. So I say Minnesota has already showed their hand. In other words, they're not going to surprise anybody next year. And I still think people don't believe in Oklahoma. And I believe you guys probably can agree with me on that one. Even though Shea and them played well this year, people still say, oh, man, we can beat them. But then in Minnesota's case, I think they played almost to the top of their heads this year. Now, I'm not saying with a trade or something, they can do better.
Listen, we're going to pull back up tomorrow.
Okay.
Shout out everybody who pulled up. Peace and love, man. Be back tomorrow.
Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I was with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.